Hey everybody, it's Colin, and you're watching Talking Ball. I'm here today to discuss an important topic. I think one a little more important than just football itself. And I'm joined by a bunch of lovely people that are going to talk with me. And I'm just going to throw them all in. We'll introduce everybody. Boom, 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 boom. We've got quite the group today. Directly next to me, we've got Josh, the Tottenham guy. We've got Ian next to him. We got Tiago underneath me, and then we got Kuva next to Tiago. What's up, everyone? How's everything going with you guys? I know that's a hard question. No one wants to talk over. No one wants to talk over each other. So
yeah, well, it's all right, isn't it? It's better than being on the street.
You're 100% right.
Yeah,
man. Josh, I'm loving the shirt, dude.
Yeah, it's a bit loud, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice though. It's a gloomy day here, so it's brightening up my day.
Good.
Yeah, so another day, another postponed first match, due to Thiago Ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, another postponed match due to coronavirus, and I don't know. I don't think that we are seeing even close to to everything to as bad as it's going to get. I think that this is honestly relatively calm. I think it's going to get a lot worse. And I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, Josh, if we continue playing games the way we're playing, do you think that we're just going to see more and more cases of COVID? I mean, some of the players that haven't tested positive yet could still end up being positive because there's that little window of time where you can have COVID but not test positive. And I don't know. I just feel like it's unnecessary risk.
I think the most necessary step for now would be for the FA to sit down with every team from the Premiership down to League Two and discuss whether it's reasonable or if it's right to postpone all fixtures now until the first weekend of January, which is the FA Cup weekend. I've heard that they're already doing that. I've heard that that's what they will be doing. So I want to see it happen because at the moment, the way it's going, we're gonna have 20 games in hand with 4 to play all in 4 days.
Yeah.
The way it's going, something needs to be done now, even if it means that we have to extend the league by a couple of weeks just to make up for the shortfall. I think for right now, it's going to take. If you isolate every player in the Premier League for 10 days, there's no excuse for any player to have COVID. If they stay indoors, like they say like they're supposed to be, and they isolate, there's no reason why in 2 weeks from now we shouldn't have a fit team, 100%. So the best thing to do now would be to have that meeting, postpone the league for a couple of weeks, come back with limited capacity.
I think this is the capacity issue is one that's important. I think on the one hand, we've got clubs that are being decimated, and there's already 4 games off at the weekend. And we're still only Thursday night here in the UK, so there's time tomorrow and Saturday for some of the other weekend games to go off. The other aspect, of course, is not just with clubs being decimated with playing staffs and coaching staff. Is how sensible is it to be asking supporters to be going to venues with 30 to 60,000 people in them with this variant that is clearly spreading like wildfire? That to me doesn't seem to be a sensible thing at all. So, I mean, I think at least I don't want to see empty stadiums again. I'd rather we suspended the season and let it go on. There's no reason I can see why we can't, go into late May, early June. This year, there's no World Cup in the summer or European Championships in the summer. So let's stop football for a bit. Let's play our part and let's resume when we can with full stadia and fully fit squads.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Tiago, what do you think? What are your thoughts about it, man?
I mean, Colin, you're lagging quite a bit, to be honest, for me, at least.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, what are your thoughts? I'm excited to hear what you have to say about the subject.
Yeah, first of all, of course, I mean, I think as everyone else, I'm gutted that we couldn't watch Spurs play. I mean, as much as they make me pissed and I scream and shout at the TV the whole game, I miss watching Spurs play. But yeah, I think Josh and Ian said everything we needed to say, honestly. The league has to stop. We need to break the cycle of teams getting players with COVID all the time. Today, Liverpool, who were playing against on Sunday, I think Fabinho, Van Dijk, and someone else already tested positive. Were not available, and it's just
And they
getting out
played
of hand.
today. I don't know. Do you know
They
if Van
played, yeah,
Dijk
they
and
did.
Fabinho did they play? Did they play today?
No,
Fabinho and
they
Van Dijk.
tested. They played. No, I think
Liverpool
that-
played tonight. They won beat Newcastle 3-1.
yeah,
Oh, sorry.
they won. They won.
Yeah.
They played, but Van Dijk didn't. Van Dijk.
Van
Fabinho,
Dijk
Okay.
didn't play. No.
Yeah,
Good.
Because they
Good.
have
I didn't
COVID.
know if he tested positive after the match or before. So
He
I'm
didn't
glad that
play.
it was before.
it was before.
But who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what who else has been in contact with them in training recently? It just seems to me like a big bad idea. And
not
Kuva.
only
Oh, sorry.
not only in training,
Ciao.
just because like I think it was last week, like days after the COVID outbreak started at United, you had Bruno Fernandes posting pictures in a restaurant in the UK with João Cancelo. I mean, imagine if he has COVID, he passes to Cancelo, and then an outbreak starts at City as well.
Yeah.
Like this
and
is stupid.
The
Absolutely.
irony of the situation is that the UK they've taken off every single country off of the red list, and isn't it slightly ironic how the UK is now on everybody else's red list? Like you cannot fly to the UK.
Yeah, I haven't heard that about from the United States yet, but yeah, I know that it's how it seems to me like you guys have quite a few cases of the new variant, way more than we have here in the United States, for example, way more,
Yeah.
and that also could be just the fact that there's more travel from South Africa and the places where it originated to the UK, and it also could be that we're just not testing as many people as you guys are.
This is the issue. I think the issue with how many new cases that there are is that a lot of people are testing on the lateral flow tests, and the lateral flow are shit. They are absolutely diabolical. I was speaking to someone earlier on who works in a care home, and three people that she works with took a lateral flow test and tested negative. Took a PCR test, tested positive near enough the same day, and they all got the new variant. So the new variant isn't being detected by these lateral flows. This is the issue, right?
Yeah.
And also the issue is people's take, like how people are taking this new variant. Like a lot of people, like I've seen it all over social media. You've got the anti-COVID warriors and all this that believe that COVID is fake, but now more and more people are starting to believe that this is a ploy to sort of deter us away from other means necessary, such as the whole. I don't know if you've heard about the Downing Street situation over in the US, but there's a massive ongoing saga at the moment where it's come out in the news that Boris Johnson and all of his cabinet were having parties at Number 10 when we were supposed to be isolated last year. And a lot of people are starting to believe that this whole Omicron variant is being used as a deterrent away from that to help to distract us away from that. That's not the issue at all. The issue is we have a new variant over here that is spreading like wildfire, and although it might not be as serious in terms of the side effects. The side effects are basically like that of a common cold. Is what's been released. Although it's not as serious, it's more transmissible. But what people don't understand is this is going to affect someone a whole lot worse than what it might affect you. Look at you. All you have to do is look at Bob Spur, for example.
That's what I was going to say. We all know,
All you have to do is look at Bob
somebody who's suffering and fighting for his life, frankly, because of COVID. And I think that it seems to me that the FA, the Premier League, they seem to be putting and I had not heard about their proposed break, but it seemed to me before that like they were putting money and ticket sales and TV revenue ahead of lives and safety. And that just never sits well with me. I was on a stream with Tommy. It would have been this afternoon over there, but this morning for me, and we had a really awesome guy on, Mr. Tottenham, I think was his name, and he was saying though that he thinks that some teams are now going to try to use this as an excuse to not have to play games, to say, oh,
which is why there needs to be a postponement, which is why the 2 weeks need to be put into place. Like I said, people have to isolate for 10 days when they test positive. If you isolate every single player for 2 weeks, that's 14 days. That's past the 10 days that they're saying. There is absolutely no excuse as to why teams wouldn't be able to play their game come the FA Cup weekend. That's why it needs to be postponed.
And if a player comes back positive, comes back with COVID,
well, then you know that they've broken the rules, and it's down to disciplinary that way.
Punishments not only from the club but the Premier League as well, because they're doing this so the games can keep going. And they need to do it fast because in terms of calendar, we don't have World Cup in June or July, but next season we'll stop for 1 month for the World Cup between November and December. So we don't have all the time of the world to finish this season. So they need to make a decision as soon as possible.
Absolutely. I don't think it was. I think it was a farce with how close we got to the game actually being playing today, and then them calling it off so soon before the match. I think this decision is one that could have been made last night. I mean, Ian, do you agree that it seems like kind of they should have made this decision a little quicker?
Made the decision when, Colin?
Oh, I mean, last night even, or wasn't it yesterday that we had asked them to postpone?
And well, I think we asked them to postpone. What seems to have come out is that we asked for a postponement last week in order to play Rennes tonight. The plan was that we played Rennes tonight, and the FA, Leicester, I think, given their injury crisis, were quite amenable to that, but the Premier League refused, as ever with football organisations, our interests come first, and we never ever look at the bigger picture. And I think that's what Josh is really saying between the lines here. Then, of course, Leicester have got their COVID outbreak, and apparently they put in, as I understand it, fresh evidence this morning of further cases to suggest they couldn't even raise a team, which, again, I think would put the Premier League in a position where they had no option. But of course, the worst of it is people that bought travel for the Burnley game. There's people that bought travel. Hi, Kim. Wonderful to see you tonight. Been put off now, but I mean, I read it like on Twitter. Someone, this morning, I reckoned there was no way the game was going to be postponed this late, so I bought a train ticket to Leicester for £70. And so there are. I mean, all right, you have to keep things in perspective. There are people. There are people losing their lives. We've got Bobby, who we all love, fighting for his life in hospital. So there are more important things than travel and game and what have you. But at the same time, it is a huge inconvenience for people. And I'm very much of the opinion, as I say, I'm so with Josh on this. Let's close down the game for a couple of weeks and let's have a look at it. Yeah, there'll be teams that will use it to their advantage. So the Brentford manager rather this morning saying, let's stop playing for a couple of weeks. His side's form's patchy. I would be astonished if the Leeds manager, Bielsa, didn't want the season suspended for a bit so he could just take stock a little bit, them having got hammered by Man City. But again, that's looking at the minutiae. Let's look at the big picture. And the big picture is we need to get players fit. We need to keep people away from mass events to stop the spread. So, I think the case is absolutely overwhelming. There'll always be winners and losers. That is life, I'm afraid.
Yeah, and Kuva, I'd just like to hear from you too. Do you think there's any like stock in what Mr. Tottenham was saying earlier, and that he thinks that some teams are going to try to take advantage of this situation to get games postponed? Like he was arguing that Leicester didn't really have as many COVID affected players as they were saying, and that it was mostly like injuries. But you would think that the FA would require some kind of proof some positive test results or something of that nature. I don't think it would be that easy to game the system.
No, I mean, absolutely. If you leave it to clubs or individuals to set the parameters at which you call off games, they're going to abuse it. I mean, that's what everybody's going to do. Anything to get an advantage. So it needs to come from the very top. This needs to be made law.
Spot on.
It's the only way people are going to behave.
Spot on.
Some people are just too stupid, too irresponsible to do the right thing. Very selfish times we live in nowadays. There's no thought for the consequences towards other people. It's all about yourself. And no more so than any sort of big businesses. And you don't get much bigger than the Premier League, do you?
Absolutely.
Abject lack of leadership coming from the Premier League at the moment. Abject.
Yeah.
Is that anything new though? I mean, should we really be surprised?
No.
It's the same. It's the same as the government as well. Like I think a massive part of this comes from the government and their whole response to the whole situation. Like,
well, they don't want to have lockdowns before Christmas. I don't think they want that Christmas holiday money.
This is the thing. I looked into this a little bit earlier on. For the second day in a row, we've recorded the highest number of new COVID cases since the pandemic started. For the second day in a row, we had 30,000 new cases a day, and we were in a full lockdown. No pubs were open, no clubs were open. Football wasn't even at the thought at the front of our minds at that precise moment in time. Everyone was supporting their teams from home, and now we've got now because we have this vaccine that's being rolled out. That they think that this is the end of the problem. This is their solution. Now, ultimately, yes, I agree to some extent that this coronavirus thing isn't so much a pandemic anymore, and this is something that we need to live with consistently. We need to live with this. It's the new normal. However, with people with so many people still being so anti-vax and not getting their jabs. Because they're scared of the effects. They are the people that are ultimately letting the side down. Because until this is sorted, there are going to be more hospitalizations. There are going to be more deaths. They turn around and say it takes. I think they worked it out. It's 2 weeks for the initial peak, 2 weeks for the hospitalizations, and then a further 2 weeks for any deaths to come through. I think that's what so that period is 6 weeks, and then we'll know how severe that this new variant is. And we're about 10 days into that. At the moment, from what I can make, there's 15 people in hospital with the new variant, and only one person has died. However, that doesn't take away from the fact we have had 157,000 deaths in the UK. Now, whether that figure is accurate is to be told. Like we don't know that. From what I can
make, it's sort of irrelevant. It's a big number, even if it's not.
It is a big number. However, this isn't going to go away anytime soon, and people need to wise up to that. Which is why the face mask mandate is now again a thing.
That should have never stopped being a thing. I personally don't think, but I mean, hindsight.
This is what I don't understand, because Germany were the first country to start doing face masks, and initially Chris Whitty, who is the I think he's the medical health director of the British government, he came out initially and said 6 months before 4 months before we introduced masks weren't effective, and ultimately 4 months later we were told that we had to wear masks as a mandate. There are so many. The government are so backtracking. They're backtracking on everything that they've ever said now, because they're saying, "Oh, this is something that we shouldn't be taking lightly." Yet we're recording high figures and still won't lock down. This is it's ridiculous to a point. Like I'm at a point now where I'm actually scared to leave my house, because if it's that transmissible, when I bring it home to my daughter who's just been in hospital, I'm not going to forgive myself.
Yeah.
This, and I believe, Coover, you're along the same boat as me. Like, you don't want to leave the house in case you bring it home.
Well, yeah. I mean, my mum's 90, bedridden.
Wow.
I'm susceptible to COVID as well, so I'm at higher risk than normal.
I have a compromised immune system, so I'm definitely also at risk.
Same for me. Yeah.
I was one of the first people around here to get the third shot. And I'm honestly I'm terrified of my upcoming trip to London, but I'm also of the I don't know, the world could end tomorrow. I could get hit by a car walking out of my house. COVID made it to where my last trip had to be rescheduled till now, and now it's gonna. And I'm thinking, if I'm allowed to travel, I'm still thinking about going. But I'm not sure if anything will be open. I'm not sure if it would even be worth it. But
if
but
you want
for
me
now,
if you want me to be perfectly honest, mate, I would strongly recommend trying to get your flights rebooked.
yeah.
And putting off the trip for a little while longer, not at least until the summer, because ultimately, I mean, the last thing anyone wants is for anyone coming over to catch it, and that's why I'm slightly worried for Brian Daigle at this point, because he is flying over today to come and see Bobby, and with the way it's spreading at the moment, I'm worried that he's going to take it home.
He shouldn't be able to get home, unfortunately, if he has it. And because you have to test upon leaving, or at least to return to the United States, I would have to take another test. And if I failed, I would have to quarantine at a hotel at my expense, for 10 or 14 days.
It wouldn't be at your expense; it'd be at the government's expense.
Yeah,
you could also be facing the prospect of coming over and then lockdown happening, and you can't get back again.
no,
This is the thing. This is the thing we need to look at. I mean, I always said at the start of the first pandemic, you have to understand, like, I'm very knowledgeable in this sense that we had the first confirmed case of COVID over here in the UK January 16th last year, and it took I think it took Boris Johnson 2.5 months to react.
yeah.
March 26th was our first lockdown, and he felt
and we're an island.
Huh?
And we're an island.
And we're an island. Yeah,
Close our borders with that thing.
That's so true. That's so true. But also, there's so much international travel coming. Like England is a country where there's tons of international travel to and from. I mean, it's kind of, I know that y'all aren't part of Europe anymore, but it's sort of like a big European hub kind of. And so
leaving the EU doesn't really affect that. What the bit that got me, I mean, this is going back to sort of February, March 2020, was 2009. I'm losing my years.
2020, we got it. First confirmed case.
2020, yeah. You think it's been with us too long? No, 2020. And like there was serious outbreaks in northern Italy. And yet there were flights, etc., coming from Milan and Turin and whatever. No tests, no checks, no nothing. It was utterly ludicrous. There were serious outbreaks in Spain, particularly around Madrid. Atleti were allowed to come over and play Liverpool. And I know that there were a number of deaths. I can't give you the exact number that were linked to that particular match. Similarly, with the Cheltenham Festival was allowed to go ahead. And Colin, you may not know what the Cheltenham Festival is, but it's one of the main horse racing events in the British calendar. It's particularly popular for a large number of Irish people that come in.
Okay.
And I don't know what the numbers are, but let's say 100,000 people come over from Liverpool to Cheltenham. So all of this was going on. The government ought to have had the kind of information that we wouldn't be privy to. Yet constantly with politicians, it's always react. There's never the kind of leadership that says we're going to be proactive, we're going to do what we can to prevent. And it's only been a bugbear of mine. I mean, maybe with the criticism they get, who with any talent would actually go into politics? But by the same token, what we get the politicians we deserve, I expect. But this is, we're not virologists, we're not politicians, but it is impacting on our lives. I mean, with Brian, I mean, Kim will tell you, she's in the comments that I don't think Brian I mean, it's wonderful what he's doing, but I don't think he's going to be able to see Bobby because apparently they've closed hospital visiting here. And I suspect that's all over. And I mean, that makes total sense.
Yeah,
but
I think he's coming over mostly. I think he's coming over mostly to support Kim.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, I mean, going back to what I was saying, like in terms of how we've reacted to it, like we've handled it completely wrong. hear me out here. Like, you have to understand, we're an island. We're a small, tiny island. We've got the highest infection rate and the highest death rate in the whole of Europe for a country not even a fraction the size of France.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. Why didn't we react sooner? Like I said, January 16th last year, first confirmed case. At that point, we should have done what New Zealand did. We should have done what Australia did. We should have done what even Taiwan did.
Right.
And that was completely shut every incoming and outgoing flight from the UK to control the virus and contain it. You contain the virus, you beat the virus. End of discussion. Then you can open up your borders. Look at New Zealand, were the first country to be virus-free 6 months after the pandemic was even a thing. They were the first country to come out of a complete lockdown, and even then, if they even get so much as one case, the whole country goes into lockdown yet again. Australia, if there's one case in one region, they shut a region down. It's very, very smart how they've done it. However, why can't we do that? Instead, we had multiple different techniques that were attempted to try and work, like regional area lockdowns. Like, for example, London would be a tier 4, which would be a complete lockdown. You go 20 minutes down the road to Hertfordshire, and that's in a tier 3 where you are allowed to go out. Like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Right.
We should have approached this in a completely different way, a lot sooner. And we would have beaten this a long time ago, but because of the
I just think a lot of it has to do with money. Could you agree maybe that, I mean, this is the time of year where there's a lot of, and for the government and for the Premier League, this is supposed to be fixture. You know what I mean? Like, this is that time of year where there's supposed to be, so many matches. And I think that the Premier League, there's hesitancy there to postpone things because this is, it's that time of year, and I don't think they wanted to lose that.
No, I mean 100%. I mean, what makes me laugh as well, and this I find this slightly ironic, is a couple months before that, in October, Boris Johnson had made budget cuts to the NHS, and when this whole pandemic was when it all started, he was appraising the NHS. For saying, oh, they're doing such a fantastic job. And guess what they got? They got a grand whopping pay rise of every Thursday night. That's all they got. That is all they got. Whereas he is giving himself £70,000 fucking bonuses. For what? For what?
Having terrible hair, I guess. He probably needs it for a haircut.
For making poor decisions. Incompetent.
Going full time as a clown, it obviously plays well now.
Bryce is asking, are the players not in a bubble still, or was that only the first time around? And that's a good question. I think, do any of you guys happen to know?
I don't understand that they're in a bubble. I think there's various protocols and stuff at the training grounds, but I mean, being in a bubble like they do in cricket, for example, means that they're in a hotel, they're separated from the outside world, they're not in contact with family and what have you. I understand the players go home to their family homes.
True, yeah, and who knows what their families are doing. I've heard that a lot of our players are taking like trips to Paris, like short flights to Paris, partying, coming back.
France aren't allowing British residents. France aren't allowing residents of the United Kingdom into the country at the moment.
Well, that's good for us. Kim says
not, because you still got people flying out to like Tenerife and stuff where they're allowed to still go.
Yeah, and that brings up another question. Do you guys think? Craig says that you can't compare the UK to New Zealand or England, I guess. Sorry, to New Zealand.
Why not? If we should have handled it the same way they handled it. I'm not using it as a comparison. I'm literally using the way that they approached the whole situation is exactly the same way we should have approached it. Like Kuva said, and like I've said, we're an island. We're not landlocked. We are our own island. Why can't we shut the whole country down? It's doable.
It's not like we're talking about inconvenience here. We're talking about international health crisis. I mean, you do what you've got to do. I mean, if people are queued up waiting to get into the country, then they have to queue up and wait, and they can get tested before they're allowed in.
It's not a ridiculous comparison at all. If we had approached it the same way that they did, and shut the whole country down, no international flights incoming or outgoing, we would have had this under control a long time ago.
You're worse than us, to be honest. Much worse than us. What was the number of cases you said today, Josh?
Let me just double. I think it was something like 85,000 new cases. Give me 2 seconds.
I was going to ask you, Tiago. That was perfect because it leads me to my next question. How is everything going in Brazil currently?
Well, after months and months of the guys were talking about Boris Johnson, our president is not, well, not our president because he's not our president. I hate the guy. But the guy who, I don't know how got the place as president after saying that the vaccine will turn us into crocodiles, after saying that
what
China, yeah, he said that.
Oh yeah, he also said that the vaccine will make you gay, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. What else he said? He said that he didn't care about the number of people that were dying because he was not the one who was making the graves, because that's not his job.
Wow.
But still, right now, it's better in the UK. I have the numbers here today. We had only 559 new cases of COVID.
Yeah, in comparison to our 88,376.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, number of deaths and cases are much bigger because we're a much bigger country. We've had in total 22.2 million cases, and we've had almost 620K deaths since the start of the pandemic. So like, it's a huge number, but things are getting better here. Things are open right now. The problem is the normal flu. People were supposed to take the COVID vaccine and the normal flu vaccine. A lot of people didn't take it, and now we're having cases of
bad flu.
The bad flu again. The normal one, not COVID.
And that makes sense though, because we've all been isolating. We've all for a while. We were kind of locked in, and I feel like our natural immunity to a lot of things has probably gone down some. Which is normal, you know what I mean? But like you said, we should have prepared for that also.
But the vaccination for flu happens every year in Brazil. Like, we have this culture that when the baby is born, they give the baby 4 different vaccines the moment he's born. So we have this culture of getting vaccines. Of course, we have people that didn't take it. Of course, we didn't. We have people who think it's rubbish. But we've had lots and lots of diseases that don't exist anymore because of the vaccine. We take now some jabs like every 10 years, and we don't have cases anymore in the country. We have, I think, 67% of the population with at least both jabs. We're starting to give the booster right now. Today, Pfizer allowed to give the vaccine to kids from 5 to 11 years old. And yeah, I mean, things are opening up again. People are still going out with no mask, which is bad, but lots and lots of people are still taking care of themselves, their families. We have these huge New Year's parties in the big cities like Rio and São Paulo. They've been canceled, but not because of number of cases, just to prevent things getting bigger and worse in the future. So these parties are not happening anymore, but there's a huge hope that in February we're going to have Carnival, and we have like millions and millions of people all around the world coming, and things are looking better right now, to be honest. But I mean, it's not perfect, but much better than it was. There was a point in the pandemic that we were having like 1.5 million of new cases every single day. We had cities that didn't have oxygen in the hospitals anymore because it was just full of people. We had people dying on the sidewalk because there was no place in the hospital anymore. So it's definitely improved.
Sorry, can I just address the Craig Bowler's comment from just now, please?
Sure, man.
So who suffers the most when you shut the economy down? It's the poorest people in society, the less fortunate. Taxes pay for benefits and NHS care. You have to keep things going as long as you can. Right. So what's to say the government, with the lockdowns, why can't the government put a freeze on business rates? Why can't they put a freeze on interest rates, on taxes? So in order to help those people, the government make more money than anyone else we aren't poor. We aren't in a financial crisis. We have one of the biggest economies in the world, right? You're sitting there saying that the taxes pay for benefits when every single person in the UK was getting furloughed, right? The government had to pay 20% of everyone's wage per month, right? Now you take into comparison
80%. The government was paying 80%. Companies were paying 20%.
Okay, there you go.
Paying 80%.
Government were paying 80% of people's wages in comparison to how many people are on unemployment benefits. Hardly any compared to how many people are actually employed. If they can pay 80% of people's wages from the money that you pay in tax, then why can't they help out those that are less fortunate? It's that's a bullshit narrative to put across. It's not a case of the less fortunate suffer. There is support out there. There's support for people that are self-employed now. If you're self-employed, you can go to the government and apply for a 10 grand grant, providing that you've been employed for over a year. They are helping people. They are helping these people that are less fortunate. And like I said, more and more people are signing up to Universal Credit because it pays to actually claim Universal Credit over here in the UK. You don't know what Universal Credit is. Sorry, States. It pays to it works itself out to be on Universal Credit and work at the same time because ultimately you get more support from the government. This is what I'm saying. Like how it benefits, how it affects the less fortunate. I don't understand. We have to pay that. The government have paid out for an absolute fortune in furloughing people. We have to pay that back. Well, maybe. My argument would be maybe if they'd handled the pandemic a lot better than what they did, i.e., treat the borders like they did with New Zealand, we wouldn't be in this situation. Have a good night.
I'd sooner pay back the government than bury 30 of my neighbours, that's for sure.
Or family members, or
yeah.
And it's definitely a scary thing. And I guess it's as good a time as ever to ask, do you think that the teams should, and I don't know legally how this would work out. I'm not a lawyer. I'd have to get one involved. There'd be many involved. But do you think that Premier League teams should mandate that their players be vaccinated?
Oh, you saw that. You must have seen my tweet on that. Yes, I do. And I'm, my field of work's employment law, so I'm aware there are huge legal, contractual, and perhaps some moral issues on this. But one of the things that's come out, and you'd have seen it in the press, is there appears to be significant numbers of players that are not vaxxed and are relying on herbal medication, or saying that because I'm a super fit athlete, I will be immune or I can recover. One of the things, if you've ever read, I don't know, something like The Glory Game or various books on football, footballers have a reputation, unfortunately, of being sheep-like. If one person has a strong opinion on something, well, don't get the vax because you don't know what's in it or whatever, they tend to all take that view. And I think there's clubs where there are significant numbers of people that are unvaxxed. I think the other thing, if you read that point I put on Twitter, is has anyone heard anything whatsoever from the PFA about what their stance is on anything?
Absolutely no reason. I've heard nothing at all. But I think for all the shit that they've done, what they really should be doing now is stepping up and supporting these players and being like, they need to. If they're going to do anything good, it needs to be now, and that is to condone the momentary break in football.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I think the PFA should be leading their members and saying, all the science suggests that you should get the vaccination. I think there's a couple of reasons for that. One, I think it will stop the spread through playing squads, because all the evidence is that those are unvaxxed are far more likely to get the virus and far more likely to get ill. I think also we all know footballers are role models. And if footballers are saying publicly, I've had the vax, I'm encouraging you to, there'll be an even greater take-up. Although, again, for those of you not in the United Kingdom, the news bulletins have shown massive queues. And it's, December here in one of the cold months of the year, that the numbers of people now queuing up to get the boosters that haven't had them up to now because they've made them more widely available are huge. So it is encouraging.
It is encouraging, yes, but you have to understand that the majority of people queuing up that's also a massive reason why this virus is going to spread, because people are grouping.
Well, in fact, the ones I've seen, they're actually 2 meters apart and masking.
The one near me, mate. You should have seen it earlier on. I was on a bus earlier on, coming back from my town centre where the vaccination centre is, and I'm not even joking. Yeah, I'm not even joking. It was from the door, and literally around the other side of the shopping centre. It was ridiculous.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And that's because what they've done is they've said, everyone go to your vaccination centre and get your boosters now. Like you can literally walk into a vaccination centre and get a jab there and then. You don't even have to book it.
Yeah. Well, no, and fine, and that's good. That's good.
Yeah. And
so I'm reading some of the comments, Colin. I mean, I'm looking. I mean, I don't. Maybe you want to move on from the political economy row, but about the money, Craig said that's not money they found down the back of the back of the sofa. That's money borrowed at interest. Yeah, that's right. I'm not quite sure what that point is, because the alternative was mass unemployment, mass redundancies. It was a necessary evil. In fact, the irony was here was a relatively right-wing Tory government embracing at least Keynesian economics, if not total socialist economics. Very strange. Anyway, that's maybe another point.
And I just want to touch on on what you said about the science saying that those players that are not vaxxed are more likely to get it. I think it's been medically proven that having the vaccination doesn't make you immune from catching the virus. It just makes the chances of getting the side effects less serious.
I also think it might lessen the chance of transmission, but I feel like there's just so much we don't know still. I can't say that with any certainty.
But ultimately, also what they're saying, go on.
The statistics show, and I haven't got them to hand, the statistics suggest in hospitals that there is a vastly disproportionate number of people that are in hospital and have been historically in hospital and have died that have not been vaccinated compared to those of us that have. So yes, you're not immune by having the two jabs and the booster as I've had, but you're much less likely to get it, much less likely to have side effects, and much less likely to die.
No, that's what I've been hearing as well. And even if that's all that it guarantees, I mean, that's so much better than the alternative, which is nothing, And we got Bryce here though. What's up, Bryce? I never got to properly say what's up. Bryce is always here. He's one of the biggest supporters of the channel. Thank you, Bryce. Love you, man. But he says, what did y'all think of the tweet a journalist put out having a stab at Harry Kane for not doing what Chiellini had done, encouraging getting the jab? That's a great question. I haven't seen the article or whatever, so I'm going to take a look for that really quick. But
yeah, I haven't seen it either. But what I am going to say is every journalist is having a dig at Harry Kane right now because of his transfer status. This is the thing. Everyone's going to take digs at Harry Kane all the time.
Yeah, Josh. Just before we move on, I think it was Ian talking about the players who think, "Oh, I'm not gonna get vaxxed because I'm super fit." Joshua Kimmich from Bayern Munich, he's not gonna play in 2021 because of side effects of COVID. He got COVID and he has a problem in his lungs, and he cannot play in 2021 again.
It was Matt Law that put that out. Sorry to cut you off, but that's
no problem.
That's insane. Matt Law is a very pro. I mean, he appears to be a pro Spurs journalist. He at least has some connections with the club and gets some info. And the fact that it was him that put that article is kind of shocking to me.
This is what makes me laugh. Being a extremely fit footballer does not make you susceptible. Does not make you immune from health problems.
No, not even
close.
You
have to do, look at Christian Eriksen. Look at Sergio Aguero.
But then you have and I feel like that's where some of the bull might come into play here. Like why some players are so hesitant to yes, we are all praying for Bobby, Mr. K. Love you, man. Thanks for being here. And Bob, we are all praying for you, man. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, love that.
That is lovely. Josh, you must put that together. Thanks, man.
Yep.
But absolutely, everybody keep Bob in your thoughts if you're religious in your prayers. But yeah, do you think because I've seen it like on Twitter and stuff, that with Sergio Aguero having his heart problem and Ericsson having his heart problem, a lot of people are saying that's because of the vaccine and things the vaccine is doing to us.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
No, I'm right there with you, but it's
They
crazy.
detected that Sergio Aguero's heart problem was something to do with his genetics. Same with Christian Eriksen.
Yeah, it's
just, if it's the case of the vaccine, what's Fabrice Mwamba's excuse for having a heart attack on the field? What's Mark Vivian Foe's excuse for having a heart attack on the field and not actually dying on the pitch?
Very good point. Very good point. It's just gross that people are using that,
This is what makes me laugh. I actually saw a tweet. I say a tweet. It was a tweet of a Facebook thread, right? And a guy had joined an anti-vax group and basically listed a list of chemicals, saying, would you put any of these chemicals in your body? And he listed all the chemicals, and loads of people were saying no. And he turned around and said, just goes to show what you're talking about. What I've given you is the chemical breakdown of an apple.
Yeah,
that is funny.
That. Yeah.
And
Isn't
it's
the
funny
old
when people... Oh, Kuva, I cut you off. You go first. My bad, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't this whole anti-vax sort of movement, if you like, didn't it all stem from one batch of test results that came from one lab when they said there's a correlation between vaccinations and autism? And it was one single test case. And because people jumped on that, they ignored all the thousands of others.
The argument I think with the anti-vaxxers is that vaccines supposedly take years to develop and that they were untested. Now, what people don't seem to understand is that vaccines that come out over the course of 10, 15 years, they are developed by one pharmaceutical company, right? With the COVID vaccine, you had every pharmaceutical company in the world working on exactly the same vaccine at the same time. Hence why the research was done a lot quicker, and hence why the vaccine was rolled out a lot quicker. I mean, you got the AstraZeneca, which is a different take on the Pfizer. You've got the Moderna, which is a different take on Pfizer.
And then the J&J one was a totally different.
You've got the Johnson & Johnson, which is a completely different take. But ultimately, the same chemical deposit is there. It's the same chemical breakdown. It's just different things that have been done to it. So, I mean, ultimately,
slightly different tweaks to help with their patents, most likely. You know what I mean?
Exactly that. But you had every single pharmaceutical company in the world working on the same vaccine at the same time. Hence why it was rolled out in a matter of months.
Complete crap, Mom says, and that's about the people saying that the jab is what caused Ericsson's heart attack and stuff,
and because it's a global pandemic and they're working on a vaccine for a global pandemic, you're not allowed to patent it. That's a World Health Organization rule. You are not allowed to patent a vaccine that is developed for a global pandemic, which is exactly what we're in right now.
And then you have people that go like, oh, the pandemic's not going to be over because they want to get money. Why do you think that we don't have a cure for cancer? Why do you think we don't have a cure for HIV? I mean, maybe there is cure and they don't want to show us, but Josh just said you cannot pattern a vaccine for a global pandemic. I mean, if what feels to me is that
Danny, I don't think you're taking this.
Danny,
jump on. Danny Kiriaki, jump on, please.
Mr. K, jump on too.
I think that with time during the pandemic, for me, it feels that people got dumber. Because now, like, everything they read on the internet, like a guy that has never studied anything about that, he goes on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, he says something and everybody starts believing it. Like, it's incredible. I can go on social media and say, oh, apples are going to kill the COVID virus in your body if you have it. And everybody will start eating apples. Like, it's ridiculous how people have changed it. Like, you had a guy that is actually, I have to laugh because like Brazil is just a no man's land. There was a mayor that saw on the internet that putting ozone up the arse would kill the virus, and he started doing that to the population. He said the population needed to go to the hospital to get ozone up their arse. Like this is the
what?
kind of
What are they putting up there?
Yeah. Ozone. ozone. Yeah, I don't know how to say sorry. Ozone. Yeah.
I mean, I want to make this more of I don't want to make it into like a somber conversation, but I think it's a conversation that needs to be had.
Definitely.
And I think that is the effect that COVID-19 has had on every single one of us as individuals.
Oh man,
personally, just to put it into perspective of how this is affecting people, like, because there are so many different ways that this is affecting people.
Yeah.
Like if you're happy to sit there and talk about your experiences with COVID, like if it's you've lost a loved one to COVID or you've had it yourself, or the effects that you've had from it, just you haven't necessarily had it, but the effect it's had on your mental health, for example.
Yeah.
I think it is a conversation that's worth having, just to put it into a bit of perspective for those that might be watching that aren't saying anything, but those that it's a bit it's not really that serious. I'd love to know everyone's take on it. Like,
it's definitely it. Well, I'll just jump in but it's definitely affected my mental health. I had suffered with depression in the past, therapy, medication, stuff, and I felt better, and so I hadn't been taking any medication for like a decade and was doing great, and then COVID hit, and my mental health is just tanked. But this time, I know the warning signs, I know what I'm looking for, I know what's happening. I don't just think, but so I can talk myself kind of through it or around it or whatever, and realize that of course this will be over sometime. But yeah, it's made me depressed. It's made me angry. I feel like I've been robbed of 2 years of my life. Not being able to do things. It's made a lot of us mad, and I think that's. I feel like I'm an infomercial, but that's why I got the vaccine, was because it's hopefully going to give us a shot at having normal life again.
Yeah. I'll happily talk about my experiences with it. So I think the first effect it had on me was as early as March, just after we went into the first lockdown. My best friend's stepdad, who I considered it was second family to me, pretty much. Yeah. And he was already ill anyway. He had underlying health conditions. He only had half of a lung, so he had a full lung and he had half of a lung through previous health conditions and stuff. And he caught it, and ultimately he lost his life about 3 weeks later. But the effect it had on my best friend was horrible. His whole family come down with it. His 2-year-old niece had got it. Ultimately, he got it as well, and he almost died from it himself. And then it was I got it in January, beginning of this year, and that was because my brother caught it from work. My brother's a key worker. He was going to work every day, and he brought it home, and I got it. And although it didn't affect me severely physically, on my mental health is fucked because of it. I think although it didn't affect me severely, the worst part of it was the anxiety that come with it. The anxiety of not knowing, people are saying that it gets worse after a certain day, and I documented my whole experience with COVID on social media. To name one, it's TikTok. I was quite vocal about it on TikTok, and then some of the comments that you get in, and people saying it's going to get worse, and then other people reassuring you, saying no, you'll be fine. I've had it. You're going to be absolutely fine. So you've got mixed emotions, and ultimately, I'm sitting there, and I was having mental breakdowns near enough every day. On top of that, as well, not only did it affect my mental health, it also put a massive strain on my relationship with my partner, because she wanted to kill me. Because we were locked in the same house for 10 days, not allowed to leave. We didn't have our own space.
Josh, tell them what I said to you.
There was at one point I was trying to go to sleep one night, and obviously my breathing was pretty bad. I'm asthmatic as well, so it doesn't really help there. I was fortunate enough not to get it severely, but I was breathing quite heavily, and my missus just turned around and said to me, just out of the blue, "Could you breathe any fucking louder?" She might as well have just said, "Could you die quietly?" It had a massive effect on my relationship as well. And then coming out of it, I'm seeing more and more people get it, and now to see that someone that I consider a brother to be in hospital,
that's the closest person,
not long after losing his dad to COVID, It's
And
fucking horrible.
his mom that or before that lost his brother within the past year and a half. Like,
Yeah.
Guys had a really shit couple of years. This is the
and then he
last
and himself
person something like this should be happening to.
Exactly.
It's having an effect on everyone, and I don't think
if
people
there's anybody
understand
that's
that.
built up the good karma to get through it, it's him. Like Bob's
Exactly.
and also he's the toughest son of a bitch I know. So
Yeah. And
he's
what
got-
I'm most scared about now is leaving my house with this new variant. It's like if I go out and I come home and give it to my daughter who's just been in hospital,
yeah.
I won't forgive myself.
No.
I've become extremely agoraphobic to the point I can't even go to work. I don't want to go to work because I know that there are my line of work. I work in security, so I'm dealing with people on a day-to-day basis, and mostly nightclubs and pubs of a weekend. And like people that go to the clubs and nightclubs are those that don't really give a shit. They are the ones that are, not taking the test and forging tests. People are they're going to these companies. People are going to these companies and paying for false COVID passports to say that they've had both vaccines.
That's happening. That's happening here as well. I've seen them for sale.
Yeah, like it's
ridiculous.
People sell them. I've seen them sold on Facebook.
I mean, with the football, it's a bit different now. Like where you have to provide proof of it with your phone. It's cool. A bit different. Like, I feel a little bit more safer going to work in that sense. But before then, I was anxious as fuck, and I still am now. I don't want to catch it, and I don't want to bring it home.
Well, yeah.
Tash is pregnant. She's 23 weeks pregnant. Fortunately enough, she didn't catch it the first time round, which I do not have a fucking clue.
See, that's the other weird thing about it is that like people in the same household, one could be positive and one could be negative
the whole way through, which leads me to believe that the flu jab that we get over here every year can be used as a way to combat COVID. She just had the flu jab and didn't catch it. Like someone who's immune suppressed. Pregnancy makes you immune suppressed. She had the flu jab, didn't get COVID. I had it, and I was sleeping next to her every night. That's my experiences with it. Like, it's fucked my life up, to say the very least, in more ways than one. And then comes the long COVID, which I'm still not over now.
That's the scary part, the long COVID part.
I've got chronic fatigue, mate. So I fall asleep just out the blue like that.
Me too, but I don't think.
And I've got chronic sinusitis. My sinuses keep getting infected because of.
See, I've had that forever too, so I would never know. Those are two things I literally really do have. Like, anyways, fuck COVID. COVID's the worst. I'm really sorry that you got it, man. That's a bummer. That's Tommy got it recently.
Yeah, I know.
He's recovered. Yeah, and right now another Dan. I don't know if you know Dan. Dan H.
No, I don't know.
I'd
love to get Ian's take on it. I'd love to get Ian's thoughts on it.
Yeah.
What particular point?
What effect has it had on you? Obviously, your line of work. Obviously, like
I'm relatively, I'm relatively lucky. I mean, I'm semi-retired anyway, so I wasn't working massively. I worked with my daughter, and she certainly had a lot in terms of managing furlough and policies and stuff like that. Probably the biggest wake up. My younger daughter is pregnant and has COVID. What variant, I don't know. I'm hoping that's going to be, absolutely fine, but it's a worry. My son-in-law, this is the husband of my older daughter, had it 2-3 weeks ago, and I suspect picked it up funnily enough, from my grandchildren. They both had it. Virtually no effects, no symptoms, no nothing, and that's the difficult thing with the children, getting it, bringing it into the house, giving it to adults, and that's maybe what's happened with the footballers as well. And my son-in-law, I mean, I have to tell you, he was double jabbed, and my daughter said tonight, if he hadn't been double jabbed, I don't know what would have happened, because he looked awful. I mean, ghost-like. And it really was pretty scary. From my own point of view, other than impacts on I guess, my own liberty in terms of being able to go to things that I would have done, the gigs. And the first lockdown, they stopped us going to gyms, fine, but golf courses, which they then allowed because someone worked out that actually being in 5 square miles of open space probably wasn't that dangerous. But I mean, I'm lucky. I try and manage my mental health issues as best I can. And I think I've been relatively lucky. I haven't lost anybody really close, which is, I think, another reason why the Bobby situation is just so utterly scary. And I've said on a couple of streams I've been on, it was Bobby that got me on his show. It's only a few weeks ago. And it, and kept, bigging me up and telling other people to put me on and what have you.
He's the nicest guy. He was there for all of us. And I was saying the Spurs YouTube doesn't feel the same without him.
You're absolutely right. And every time I look at my phone, and it really is at the point where no news is good news. That group thing that we've got going with the streamers and what have you, and I don't want that thing to ping at all. And I'm sure a lot of people know where I am. I mean, I lost my dad earlier in the year, but it wasn't COVID related. No, I've been lucky. I've been a lot luckier than others. So I count myself lucky. In fairness, I have a place in Spain. I'm lucky that way. Haven't been able to get there very much, but people are dying. That's, me not being able to go to Spain. Again, I talk about looking at the big picture. It's an expression I often use. The big picture, me going to Spain, doesn't really matter much.
Right. You're making me think about my upcoming trip a whole lot, you guys. But this is good. I need to. This is a good conversation. I'm really glad that you haven't lost anybody close, because I haven't really either. I've lost and I'm really lucky. And me and you are both really lucky. So I'm really glad about that, man. I know you got to take off soon. You said.
Yeah, I'm gonna bail out. This is
a nice little exit moment here. Anyway, it worked itself out just perfectly. But hey, thank you for being here, my friend.
I turned 62 since we were on air, so gonna try and do whatever we can. Yeah, there you go, old man. So we started just before 12. Thank you.
Happy birthday!
We have to sing.
Yeah, we do. All right. End of 1, end of 2. Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. And that was for you, man.
Okay, Colin. Great,
Listen,
everybody.
thanks.
Now,
I'm just looking
how
at
do we
the
give you
public.
the bumps while social distancing?
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks, Danny. Thanks, Julie. Thanks, all of you. Yeah, I'm going to bail out. I'm going to head to bed and try and have a good day. I'll no doubt hopefully see you all again.
All right. Well, yeah, of course. Be safe out there, birthday boy.
Cheers, guys. Thanks. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Bye.
We had somebody special join in, and Ian thought you were Danny, but you're actually Cody. It's Cody Mack. I haven't been on a stream with you in a long time. I noticed you're still not facing the camera yet, but the beard's got to be close to acceptable.
It's not to do anything with the beard. It's just if I come on streams at a certain time of night, I have to do it from like a dark room, basically, just the way our house is laid out. So.
Okay. No, that actually makes complete sense. I forgive you in that case. But it's really good to have you here, man. And I know that you, right? COVID's impacted you, right?
Well, show me someone that COVID has not impacted. You know what I mean? Like, look, the COVID was declared a worldwide pandemic on March 11th of 2020. My second daughter was born on March 11th of 2020. So needless to say, those first few weeks when the whole world shut down for a bit and it was scary, it wasn't, in some respects, it was okay because, we would have been mostly nesting at the time anyway. Like generally, my part of the world has been relatively unscathed from COVID, and Canada has been pretty strict. I mean, we haven't reduced our mask mandate. We've been very, very strict. And on top of that, with us having a newborn, we were taking everything the health officials were saying seriously, and then sometimes going above and beyond that. But man, it's I just gave up looking at the numbers after a while. I was following it every day for maybe 6 months, 8 months, and I just check once in a while now because this is just the way that life is. And as much as my life, yeah, it hasn't been adversely effective. I don't know anybody that's died. I hardly know anybody. The first person that the person I care most about that's caught COVID is Bobby right now. And so even though that's not good news, it just perspective it provides me, where you see families that have been wiped out. Some very, very sad stories, especially in the United States. Maybe I'm just more exposed to it being Canadian, but yeah, it's been a very difficult time for everybody. It's been the shittiest time of my life, easily.
Yeah, mine too. It's weird. Like it has every. You know how there's events that like changed life, at least here in the United States. Like life changed really, really hardcore after like 9/11, and then post COVID, the world seems to have changed, and I'm not enjoying either of the changes. I wish we could go back, but hopefully one day we can get like a lot closer than we are right now. This comment's cool, saying that. Wait, I saw one that said, it just might be another seasonal virus. There's like theory that it'll just mutate itself as this Omicron. Am I saying that correctly? Seeming like it's less severe, and then hopefully as new variants come, they're just less severe and less severe and less severe, and eventually it's just another virus.
It's less severe, but it seems to be very, very contagious.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Scary stuff. Very scary stuff. My mom says Canada is wise. It's our smarter, wiser neighbor. She's not wrong.
Well, we have quite an advantage too, and part of the reason that the Canadian restrictions were so much higher is because our government organizes our health care. It's social health care. So their system is not prepared to deal with the effects of it, and it's not something you just change. We already struggle to staff our hospitals with doctors and nurses. It's hard to keep them because the government can only pay so much.
Oh.
Sometimes they can go somewhere else in the world and get a much better, higher paying job.
Think about that. Yeah.
So they have to keep it under. I'm surprised the UK has been as relaxed in some of the rules as they have been, just because it's the same type of model, not exactly the same, but yeah. But we're doing a pretty good job, I think. Our deaths. It's really hard to kind of digest the numbers that are presented online. Like how is it possible that this originated in China, but officially there's still less than 5,000 deaths, but in the United States there's 800,000 people dead from this. It's very difficult.
The Chinese government, I don't want to get super political because that's annoying to people probably, but the Chinese government isn't known for being super duper honest. You know what I mean? Like it's.
Well, yes, but what they have just completely turned off the information 100% here. Like it's
right.
It's a very, very bizarre spectrum to try and navigate. As you have to choose what you believe.
That is very true.
Yeah. Kind of the nature of the news cycle right now. So.
Which is very unfortunate. I wish like someone could just definitively, and I'm sure they have. We just don't know who to listen to. It's all a really weird subject. Oh, Cody's gone, and with that, Cody disappeared. And thank you for gracing us, Cody. If you'd like to come back, you're more than welcome. And thanks for coming and thanks for talking. Like I said, I'm really glad that your daughter's okay. And you're a tough dude. Thanks again for being on. But yeah, Tiago, what's it been like there? I mean, he's back. Cody, we thought you just like with the flash, and then you were gone. But nope, you're back. What's up, dude?
Oh, it's just my fat fingers. I went to press a button and I accidentally left the room.
Nice. I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Fat finger in the keys, man. Oh yeah. Tribute to Bob.
Wouldn't you just love to hear that man pop up
Man,
on the screen with an eye?
Dude, stop it! Yeah, I would lose it. I would be so happy. That'd be like Christmas, man. And it's gonna be whenever he comes back. So it's not an if, it's a when.
Yeah.
Fuck COVID. Put Bob in like a fight. There was a fight, and it was Bob versus COVID, and I was putting all my money down beyond Bob for sure.
He's Spurs. We get knocked down all the time and keep coming back, don't we?
Yep. And Cody, so your daughter's good now though? Like everything's A-okay? You know?
Well, none of us have had COVID, so she's
Wonderful.
It's just a question of like what are the lingering effects going to be on children's development, social skills, how they see the world. My kids don't know a world without masks right now, so it's
very, very crazy. That's bonkers. That's really, really, really.
To be fair,
bonkers.
saying that, I think a lot of China, I don't think they know what life is like without masks either. When you think about how polluted they are, they've been wearing masks since as long as I can remember. To be honest,
that's true.
It's one of them things. But I mean, I don't see us being in a world without masks at least for another 10 years, maybe. This is going to be the new normal for us, I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the shocking part about it.
I mean, there's quite a lot of things I've disagreed with Craig Bowler over the last few weeks, but he's spot on with one thing, and that's the hope that it sort of peters out into a less dangerous sort of virus, but becomes more like a common cold over the course of time. I mean, that's what we've all got to hope for. And
I mean, you have to think about it. If everyone gets it, and you know, I mean, ultimately there are going to be people that die from it, which I think is the sad thing to think about it. But ultimately, like at some point, someone's going to have it. Everyone's going to have it at some point in the world. I mean, we're not immune from this. This is not going to go away.
I'm avoiding it. I'm going to do it. I don't think it can catch me. I'm knocking on wood right now as we speak.
I mean, ultimately, I think it's going to get to a point. Sorry, it's going to get to a point where our immune systems are going to be basically, we're going to have enough immunity to survive it, I think. And I mean, if everyone's getting their shots every year, then it's just another shot in the works.
Yeah, I mean,
ultimately, that's the way life is right now.
Yeah. Yep.
It is like the flu. It is gonna. What's the word? It's gonna keep mutating. Every virus mutates.
Yeah. Who knew the only thing that was more depressing than watching Spurs was not being able to watch Spurs.
I know.
Christ.
That's it's sort of like how it was whenever the first shutdown happened, or the first lockdowns happened, and everything went on break. That was just a terrible time. What was that one Kazakhstan that was playing? I don't know. There was one league that was still going, and I watched a lot of their football. It's sad that I can't remember. I think it was Kazakhstan. No, that's the country from where we're at. But it was a country right there.
Anyway, it's interesting to watch. You want to start watching non-league football. Trust. Oh, that's such amazing.
No, but these guys are the only. This was the only league that was on during the lockdown, and so the betting sites all picked them up too, and I don't know. It was a lot of fun. It was like what I did to keep me sane. The matches were on at like 2 p.m. It was really.
Who are they? Get Football Manager.
Belarus. It was Belarus, the Belarusian team. Boom.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of your trip, dude, I mean, I don't want to put a dampener on it, and I hope Julie understands what I'm saying as well. I think now would probably be a good time to sort of reevaluate, sit down and look at the repercussions of what could happen if you do come over. Because the last thing that we need is you getting ill while you're over here.
Dang, man, stop it.
I know it's a harsh reality, but I mean, if I don't say it...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'll definitely have to take it into consideration, and I'll watch over the next couple of weeks and see what's up. Next week, I guess, or so. It's exactly 14 days. No, wait, 12 days from today.
How long do you give it until we start seeing Zoom quizzes every weekend?
Wait, do what now?
I said, how long do you give it before we start seeing Zoom quizzes again every weekend?
What do you mean? I don't know.
Did you not have Zoom quizzes over there during the pandemic?
What the hell?
Over here, we had people doing quiz nights on Zoom every weekend.
That's awesome.
It was like on Christmas Day, because we weren't allowed to go see our families on Christmas, like because we were that locked down. People were just having Christmas Day online. Harry Kane, for example, did a gender reveal with his partner for a virtual call with his family.
Crazy. Yeah, it's wild, man.
I'm still waiting for Josh's Christmas period big fat quizzes.
I guess it depends on how many people get hospitalized, because that's really what they care about with the lockdowns. They don't care about people. They don't care about people catching it. They care about the hospitals being able to deal with it. So if the hospitals fill up, they'll lock down so that no more people. You know what I mean? But I think they do think that everyone's going to get it eventually. And that, you know.
I think that's the biggest thing to take away from it all, is that this isn't going to go away.
Yeah, scary. But you know what else is not going to go away? Spurs. And real quick, but I'm jumping off subject. Kuva, like, you said that COVID was pretty bad for you and people,
Yeah, I mean, I'm same as you. I've got a compromised immune system, long-term illness. The illness has kind of gone, but the side effects are still there. I'm diabetic as well, which also increases risk as well. But with my mum being so elderly too, and she's had breathing problems for many, many years. So I've got 2 children of school age, and what gets me so down so often is knowing I've got to send them out to school, and they could be coming back with something that kills 2 of us in the house.
I remember you saying this, that two of their friends at school tested positive, wasn't
it? Yeah. I mean, people sitting right next to one of them, and it honestly starts giving me this feeling of it's not a case of if it's going to happen; it's when it happens.
Yeah,
I'm dreading doing these tests at home all the time, just dreading it coming up positive one time, and it's going to be too late at that point probably. So yeah, it's really affected life. I mean, we don't go. We always used to love going out. It was great. I'd have one of the carers would come in to sit with mum. I'd take the kids out to the park and that sort of thing, and socialise with some of the other parents when picking them up at school. All of that's gone out the window. So this is basically my social life is online now, same as it is for a lot of people. I sympathise with Josh saying, the anxiety of going out the house is colossal now.
Oh my god.
Because you just thinking that it's too much of a risk.
I was at the dentist today, and I was like, "Does this person in front, the person in front of me like coughed funny or something?" And I was just like, "Oh god, like, do they have it?" Like,
you're lucky you can even go to the dentist. I think our dentists are taking minimal appointments at the moment. Like, it's very, very hard to get dentist appointments.
Dang, I'm glad I can get in because my shit's messed up. But yeah,
you can't even get an appointment at your local GP anymore. Over here, you have to sort of ring up, and then they have phone consultations, and then this is serious. Then you have to go in. And even then, it ain't the same day. So like, you could be suffering really, really bad, and then by the time they see you, it's like, well, I don't need you now. Like, I've got over it. So it's horrible the way it's transpired over here. I mean, I want to get Thiago's take on it all. Obviously, like, he's in a country where it's been extremely fucking rife, and it's. Yeah. I mean, Brazil had their own variant as well, didn't they? It was the Brazilian variant that made its way.
Whoa, really? How did I not even know about that?
Is that like all the other variants, but with a lot more flair?
Oh, Kuva's always got the jokes.
It's like every other variant, but it comes over with a fucking backsack and crack and wears a bikini.
and it plays defensive midfielder for Spurs. Spurs one. Variant is defensive midfielder. Love you, Sandro. Miss you.
Yeah, what's it been like? It wouldn't be a pandemic.
Do what?
I mean, it wouldn't be a pandemic without a Brazilian variant. Let's be honest. Of course, we had to.
Right. You guys got to do it. There.
Right. Well, what's it been like for you over in Brazil? Like, what's been your take on it all?
I mean, for me personally, COVID has been really hard. I mean, especially my mental health side has been very, very affected because in Brazil, the numbers impact a lot more because we have like two, 210 million people living here. So the numbers are going to be bigger. The numbers of cases, the number of people that died. For example, we had more than, uh, I think, almost 100,000 people dying every day at some point. So it was very, very scary. Um, and for me, it was hard because it started like Bryce just put a comment, heard about the Brazil variant, it took a dive. Honestly, this is not true. This is not true. If you watch the games, Colombia and Argentina dive much more than us. And the
Nah,
only one who dives is
Brazilians are
Neymar.
divers.
No, Neymar is a diver. Neymar is a diver. And
Oh, where's Neymar from?
uh,
To be fair, I'll give
this-
Neymar credit where credit's due. Did you not see the tackle he come under where his ankle literally bent backwards on his hip and did a full 180?
Ugh.
oh man, but the COVID part for me was hard because I graduated high school in 2019. So I had just taken my exams to get into university. So I was waiting for the results in January, February, and I didn't get in. And I started this special school that it's only for you to study for these exams. So like you don't have tests, you don't fail subjects. It's just for you to go there and study and have a support from a teacher. And suddenly it all stopped. I started studying at home. I wouldn't leave my house. I've been trapped inside my house since March last year. I the first time I saw my friends after the pandemic started was July this year. So I spent like a year and a half without seeing my friends, only in my house and studying every single day. And then I got into university in August last year, but classes started late, so I had to wait until February to start having classes again. So I stayed like 6 months doing literally nothing at home because I couldn't go out, I couldn't um, see my friends, I couldn't
Couldn't
go to the
even
mall,
study. Crazy.
and this year it got even worse because around March my family got COVID here at home. My dad, my mom, and my brother around the same time, and I had to take care of the house, like dinner, lunch, their clothes, everything was on me, plus
What?
studying. So I
Jeez.
had to do everything by myself. It was really hard because I honestly didn't know how I was gonna get through. My brother got COVID first. He was at work. He works in a lab with blood tests, and someone at work got it. Then my dad got it. Then my mom got it, and I tested negative. I don't know how because I used to share a bedroom with my brother, and I
Hmm.
didn't get COVID. But for me, it was really, really hard. Um, the feeling of loneliness got much stronger during time because I wouldn't talk to anyone. My social life's completely fucked. When I go out, for example, at the mall, I need to go to the mall buy something. I get dizzy. Like in 5 minutes, I'm dizzy and I don't know what's happening. I don't know what to do. I go at places and I don't touch anyone. I don't touch anything. I'm always scooping from people from one side to the other, and I just like after 20 minutes, I'm like, please, I need to go home. I need to get out of here as soon as possible. And I stop breathing and I stop thinking, and everything starts spinning around, and I feel like I'm gonna pass out. It's been really hard for me. I'm not gonna lie, my mental health is fucked. Anxiety, depression, everything. It's coming today, for example, I was talking to Colin earlier. I had a presentation today. I got 9 out of 10. I had a breakdown because of that. I had anxiety, panic attacks. Yesterday, I was shaking and crying because of a presentation, something that wouldn't happen before. So it's affecting my whole life right
That's
now.
hey. I'll be you. Thanks for being. It's me too. Like more than I kind of alluded to earlier. Like I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut in. I just keep going, keep going. But yeah. Thanks for being so open about all this, man.
I mean, I don't have a really problem sharing my story because I am someone who gets calmer when, for example, when I was trying to get my driver's license, people that were there doing their second, third time, they would talk to me and say, "Look, no, it happened to me. It happens to everyone because I had to do it 6 times to get my license. I wouldn't sleep for a week before the driving exam." So when people share their stories and tell that it happened to them and that they got better, it makes me feel that it's gonna happen to me as well. I'm gonna get through it. So I don't really have a problem sharing my story because I feel that knowing that it happens to everyone, that you're not the only one, that it's human to have anxiety and panic attacks and depression, and that you have treatment and that it gets better. For me, it gives me a lot of strength. So whenever I have the chance to talk about my mental health issues and how I've been dealing with it, I'm always open to it because for me it helps a lot putting it out. I don't have much people to talk about it. In my house, nobody cares. Nobody wants to know how I am. One day I opened up to my mom and she said like, yeah, but everybody has problems, you know. So you gotta help people with problems, and you shouldn't expect them to help you because everybody has these problems. Everybody goes through something. So you're not special. You're not. It's not serious because it happens to everyone. So for me, getting it out of my chest is very very important. So
But
that's it.
Tiago, do you think Emerson Royale is a diver?
No, I'm telling you, we're not divers. We're not divers. You look
Uh,
at
he's, look, he's Spurs. I can be honest about him. He looks like a little bit of a diver.
look. The reason I would say that people have this conception about Brazilians is because our league here in Brazil, the quality is not the biggest. Because when players break through, they instantly go to Europe. So the quality players, they stay here like a year and then they're gone. So only the shit players are left. And when you watch our league, it's like terrible because like it's fouls every time. It, there's a foul, it takes like 2 minutes for the game to start again. It's so annoying. So since the quality is not there, people use their physicality. So there are a lot of fouls, a lot of um, the stops during the game. So that's why people say we're divers, and that's what we try to do against better oppositions. But it's not that every single player does that. Neymar is like he's just another level of diving, and it makes me really
I'm
happy.
just teasing Tiago. I'm just teasing you. Look,
No, I know.
Brazilians. I would never label Brazilians as all being one thing like divers. You're not all divers. Just your very best player is a huge diver.
Yeah. Oh, that rolling against Mexico, I think, or Serbia, I don't remember, in the World Cup. Oh my goodness. That became such a meme here in Brazil. Everybody was making memes of that. Like versions of like thousands of versions of that meme. Everybody was so annoyed. Everybody hates, not everybody, but a lot of people hate Neymar here. Gotta be honest, we don't like him that much. And I
Why is
can't wait for
that?
him to go.
Why don't you like
Because
him?
because when we need him, he doesn't show up. Simple as that. He wants to be a legend. He wants to be um, this guy
It's not
that.
because. Be honest. There's probably a lot of people in Brazil who don't like Neymar diving.
No, I am one of these people. Like during the World Cup, everybody was talking about it. Everybody was saying like not only as a meme, but like why is he on the floor all the time? And Neymar has this. He's always had these problems in his career because he's always been this guy that had this outside the pitch life. Like for example, Pogba has. So in Brazil, there's always been a discussion like, is he mature enough to be a legend? Will he be mature enough to lead the biggest national team of all time to win a World Cup? Um, it's been it's always a big debate, and
I think
as
you
much
know what.
as
I think one thing about Neymar is that there's just a few. He has this reputation, but it actually takes away quite a lot of like. If you watch Neymar, especially in South American competitions, that guy actually takes a legitimate hammering because these guys are just sick of playing against him, and you have to foul him hard or else he just dominates the entire game. So Neymar, yeah, he's a very good footballer. I like
Yeah,
Neymar.
you're right. He sort of does what Tanji does. He just makes players foul him just to get the ball off of him.
but like he had this thing like, oh, after 2022, I'm not gonna play World Cups anymore. Being honest, I'm kind of happy because not that his career might be over, not like that, but it's always like, oh, things are going good, give the ball to Neymar and let him do what he wants. Things are bad,
Like
give the ball to
Bale,
Neymar so he
like
tries to
whenever
save
Bale,
us.
whenever we had Bale in
Yeah,
2010
yeah,
or
they act
11, 12, might have been 13 actually.
Bryce. When you're talking about
It was
people
a year.
showing up, Bryce, a comment here. Wait, you're talking about people showing up when they're needed. Are you talking about Neymar or Harry Kane?
Yeah,
I mean,
Harry Kane also a bit of a diver.
yeah.
yeah,
I
true.
mean,
I
my
wonder where he
life
learned
is not. My life with football is not the luckiest. Let's be honest, because I was alive when we won in 2002, but I wasn't even 1 year old, so I don't remember anything. The first World Cup I have memories is 2010. And about Neymar not being there, I kind of like the idea because against Argentina, the last time we played, the last international break, we didn't have him because he had a thigh injury after going out and falling, falling around with someone, So we, you could see the team was brave. You had like Rafinha, Vinicius Junior, Matheus Cunha, and everybody was like just fighting and showing they didn't want to lose to Argentina and showing that they wanted to prove I deserve a place in this team. And it was very nice. The game, in my opinion, was nice. Even though it was nil-nil in the end, the team showed fight. And that, for me, is something that we've been missing for a long, long, long time. And hopefully we win the World Cup next year.
Mm, mm,
I was,
mm, mm,
I
mm.
was in a trance there. I could have listened to you go on for ages.
Dude, I was gonna say he's one of the most. I love listening to you talk about football, man. You've got you've got a pretty sick perspective,
Yep, definitely.
and that
It's because I'm like not to brag about myself, but it's because here in Brazil I kind of have a different image because here is like, oh, because football in Brazil, like European football, which for us is international football, is a lot like, oh, the biggest stars. So if PSG has lots of stars, people are gonna watch PSG. If Real Madrid has lots of stars, they're gonna watch Real Madrid. I don't know how I ended up watching Spurs. I mean, thousands of clubs to choose. I choose the
I think
weirdest
Gareth
club of
did
all.
Gareth Bale help you, or did you start following Spurs after Gareth Bale?
It was during Gareth Bale.
Yeah,
It was
that
during the Gareth Bale era.
he was one of the players that got me, man. Him and actually, and Aaron Lennon, weirdly enough, helped make me a Spurs supporter. Aaron Lennon was
Ah,
sick. I liked his style.
I honestly don't know to this day how I ended up supporting Spurs. Like thousands of clubs to choose, I chose the weirdest one because everything that's weird in football happens to this club.
Yep, I totally agree. I'm always asking myself the same
Whoa!
thing.
If I didn't see it in my eyes, I wouldn't believe it. It's Tommy.
Tommy,
Tommy,
What's up,
Yes.
man?
What's going on, chaps? Long time
bit
no
late for you,
see.
innit, mate?
Long time no
Yeah,
see.
dude.
How we
I
doing,
know. You been doing all right?
This is late for you, isn't it, Tom?
mate? Do you know what? I'm supposed to be asleep. I'm supposed to be asleep, but I'm waiting for the Ashes, and I just can't wait.
Oh shit, is that starting today?
it started
Getting bloody
last
echoes
week,
in.
didn't it?
You're not missing anything, mate.
Yeah, it's not good.
Has he actually started?
Day one was not good. Yeah, day one was not good.
The-
Well,
Hey, Swifty says hello, Tommy.
big up, people. I haven't. Do you know what? I haven't been on somebody else's stream for a while. I haven't been on somebody else's stream for a little while. Obviously,
really
I had a
nice to
few
have you.
difficulties.
That's all right. I'm gonna ask you to come on one tomorrow.
Yeah, Josh, the Ashes have definitely started, but not for England.
Tommy's going out tomorrow.
Oh, that bad.
Tommy's going out.
I could be all right. Do you know what? I'm supposed to be on a few channels doing Liverpool streams on a few Liverpool channels, but it doesn't look like that's happening now because I guarantee
Well, I
that
was
game's going to be called
supposed
off.
to be on the Leicester City channel yesterday.
Was it Chris? Was it supposed to be with Chris?
Nah, some guy called Ant.
Oh right. Oh, Chris is a G, man. Listen Till I Die TV. Loads of people go on his channel, but no. I miss, man. I'm so disappointed we didn't play
Hey,
tonight's
Tommy.
game.
But the question is,
I had a bang birthday cake bash energy drink, and it was.
Go on, Colin. Go
It was
on.
delicious.
wait, we can get that over here, but it cost a fucking fortune.
How much?
£3.50 for a can of American energy drink.
That's fucking ridiculous because it's like
can.
$2.50 here. $2.50.
Wait,
That works out about £2.
what is the name of the
Bang.
drink?
Bang is the name of the energy drink, and then this
No,
flavor
like
is
the flavor.
the birthday cake bash.
Ooh.
Okay.
It tasted actually really bad. It was really hard. I finished it though. Yeah,
Tastes bad.
the rainbow unicorn is way better if you're gonna look for a funky one.
Yeah. I'll just drink root beer. I prefer root beer, to be fair.
No, I see you drinking energy drinks all the time. You
Yeah, but I
lie.
like root beer. If I'm going to drink anything American, it's root beer.
Oh,
I should drink an energy drink tonight because
Get
man,
on,
I need
dude.
to.
You're not working tomorrow, Tom, no?
No, man, I need to start running in the mornings. Like I've had a week off, and I need to start running in the mornings. I've got cricket starting at 4 a.m. in 2 hours, and then that's on for 8 hours. And
what channel's that on? Because I might just put that on while I'm in bed. To be fair,
it's on BT Sport, man. It's on BT Sport. It's good.
Cricket's
Cricket's
help
good
you
for
sleep.
background sport. Cricket's perfect for a background sport, anyway. It is
Help
absolutely
put you to
perfect.
sleep because it's terrible.
Tiago probably thinks we're speaking a foreign language right now when we talk about cricket. Like,
For me,
it's-
cricket is white people's baseball. I don't understand a single thing. If I watch cricket, I'm like,
white person's baseball.
for me, it looks like baseball. I don't know how this shit.
It's not. It's a
I'm
gentleman's
sorry.
sport. Cricket's a gentleman's sport.
It's how Spurs started. Actually, it's how Spurs begun.
Started off as a cricket club, yeah.
Well, we were
Just to show you guys quickly, a can of Bang here in Brazil costs
training
34.
What,
Sorry,
34
it's
cents?
No, 34 reais. It's fucking expensive. Plus taxes because we don't have it here. So
bloody hell.
and like
Oh,
Monster
I like
Energy is
Monster
20.
Right, here's a question, and just to lighten the mood a little bit. What's everyone's go-to soft drink?
Like Dr. Pepper, 100% of the time, all day, every day. Dr. Pepper. If it's a soft drink,
What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen?
Fanta fruit twist. Fanta fruit twist.
what the hell is that? That doesn't exist here.
Fanta fruit twist. Oh, it's banging.
The red Fanta, man.
Cody puts it. Cody puts it like this, and I agree completely. Cody, very good. Big up.
Yeah, me too.
Big yourself up,
Don't
Cody.
knock it till you watch it, man. Don't knock it till you watch it.
Hey, and everyone, put your hand up if you think Cody should make a channel and have like his own content. Oh, see.
I just want to say as well, Cody,
Make a
started
channel,
watching
bro. It'd be
Formula
great.
1. He has seen the light.
Cody should have a
Seen
series
lights.
where he just triggers as many people on Twitter as he possibly can. Because his content would be fucking incredible.
Yeah, mom's is Diet Pepsi. That's
It's
her
very
story.
difficult to trigger Cody. I've noticed. I
He
keep
can't be
asking him
triggered.
cricket questions and stuff. He never bites on that.
So
Yeah,
the
man.
quiz that I'm going to do, I'm going to have a cricket round.
Hey, Josh.
I'm doing a quiz.
What's your
I'm
favorite
doing
soda? Root beer. Kuva. What's your favorite soda?
I think I could be really boring and say Diet Coke.
Oh yeah, okay. Diet
You know
Pepsi. for
what?
my
You
mom.
know what? I agree with it. I prefer Diet Coke over full fat Coke because I think
Really?
full fat Coke it leaves your teeth in, it's squeaky,
Yeah,
it leaves that feel in your
exactly.
mouth.
Yeah. There's
It
there's
goes
more
normal.
as well.
We have different Coke than you guys. Ours has corn syrup in it, and yours has sugar.
Yeah.
Oh, hand up. Mom says Cody. So that's 6 hands.
I've got an
6 out of
alternative
6.
one as well. Sugar-free watermelon and strawberry tango.
Well, hey, with the money I just spent at the dentist, I hadn't been to the dentist in a while. I just like, it was like, oh, my teeth are fine. They don't feel messed up.
But
And
then again, I'm gonna throw it back a little bit. Dandelion and burdock is definitely up there.
Can't beat a good
That was
ginger
a
beer
weird
as well.
one.
Dandelion,
That's a weird one, isn't it?
Dandelion and burdock.
I'll have to get you it when you come over, man. If you do come over, I'll get you a bottle of it.
Bro, I so want to come over. I'm gonna get like a World War II era gas mask and get like filters for it, and just wear that around everywhere. Just be like, try get me COVID. Get one of those like suits, like a hazmat suit, and just wear that around.
What you should do is you should just open up the house to like house parties and make sure everyone's got a COVID test before they come round.
Yeah, that actually is a good idea. Buy up as many of the like tests, because man, it sucks that it's not picking up the new variant on those tests, because we have you can buy them here. They're like you swab your nose yourself and you mix some stuff together and you put the nose swab.
Crazy, yo! This new variant is taken over. Like if you look at the Championship and League One now, like half the teams have got COVID one way or another.
Those mofos. It's scary. You said you already got Tommy. That's probably what you got.
Yeah, no, I definitely got. I got a few weeks back, didn't I? As I said, I couldn't taste
that's
scratches anymore.
That's probably.
And that's when I knew something was up.
You probably got that Omicron.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, it probably was that.
Just to answer Tottenham. I would definitely play it by ear, see what happens next week, and then come and ask me again.
Yeah, because dude, it sucks so bad. Literally, international travel got banned the day before our last trip was supposed to go, and if this happens, it's gonna be right before it, and it sucks because this time it's like right after my birthday. Nick's going with us. We get there on Nick's birthday, because me and Nick have birthdays 10 days apart, and it's just gonna be like crushing. You know what I mean? It already.
Wait, so is it your birthday tomorrow?
No, sorry, it's in 3 days.
Oh, okay.
So finish college, birthday, and then it's supposed to be finish college, birthday, Christmas, London, Nick's birthday, New Year's, and do
you know what sucks? Right, you can't even do anything on New Year's Day over here. They once again for the third year in a row, the fireworks are cancelled.
Do you think
fireworks at London Bridge are cancelled?
Do you think
there just won't be any fireworks, so you can't go. You can't go to.
I mean, we can still get absolutely fucking bollocks at like someone's house, but.
There'll be. I told Colin earlier. If you go to Waterloo near the London Eye, there'll be something happening there. The underground party at Waterloo is just graffiti for about 2 miles. It's just you'll have a good time there. Look, obviously, if you're willing to take the risk, or if you've already had it, I'm not gonna tell people to go there. Obviously, but it is. There will be parties if you want them. If you want to find them, there will be parties. But do you know what? It's serious though. It's serious. The thing with your mum, has your mum got any underlying health conditions though, Colin? Have you or your mum got any underlying?
She coughs a lot, but there's no like actual problem. It's like a
right.
Supposedly, that's a good question. So I don't think so though.
I want to say just come, but it's no, of course. It's
ultimately, I want to say just come as well, but realistically, you need to look at what's happening.
No, of course.
If you guys want to come here to Brazil,
like I explained earlier on, Tommy, like we've had the second day consecutively where we've had the most amount of cases since the start of the pandemic for the second day running.
Is it really?
88,000 people testing positive.
It's madness. Absolute madness.
And although it's not as serious, they're saying the symptoms of this variant is just a cold. But again, we have to look at the bigger picture. Look at Bobby. That's all you have to say is look at Bobby.
Right.
It's the only thing you have to look at. Like, it's
when you've got those underlying, conditions. I mean, Kuva, I heard just before I come on, you've got diabetes. You got diabetes, have you? Yeah. So that's gonna. Is that a big? Is that the kidneys? So is the problem the kidneys there? Is that where the?
It's pancreas, isn't it?
Oh, well, whatever it is, all I know is I'm at higher risk. I mean, that's all.
Are you type 1 or type 2?
Oh, type 2.
So you injecting?
Okay.
No, that's type 1.
So you're taking tablets.
Yeah, tablets.
I think that's where your pancreas is creating too much. Oh, no, your body's creating too much glucose, so you have to take metformin to combat it.
Well, yeah,
it's
just so the sugar gets absorbed into the system instead of floating around. Yeah, So it's increased risk anyway. But I'm not. It's weird because I'm not really that concerned for myself. I'm more worried about my mum because she's elderly and she's got no chance if she gets respiratory problems now. So it's one of them things. I mean, obviously, I worry about myself getting it because I want to make sure I'm around for my kids. But you just don't know what's going to happen if you catch it.
This is very, very true, though. We have tested the most since the pandemic out of every country in the world. We have had the most tests, which I think is, is in comparison. But again, it still doesn't explain why we have the highest infection rate in the world as of right now, and the highest death toll in Europe.
We are all sort of crammed into one little nation as well. That doesn't help.
I think we got a bigger population than I think Germany or just below Germany, and they're a massive country compared to us.
Yeah. I mean,
it's just London's just 10 million people. It's 10 million people in London, isn't it? And that's the problem. That's the issue, isn't it? 10 million people in such close quarters.
Germany has,
and we're staying in Tottenham too, which I feel like is just not the best place.
Yeah, you're gonna get all the crackheads at 3 o'clock in the morning trying to cough over
you. You could also, with danger of sounding political again, but you look at the certain world leaders that 2 in particular that are all bravado about everything. I can't catch COVID; it won't affect me. Business as usual, and both of them got COVID.
And they both got way better. They both got way better treatment than we would ever get. But.
Yeah, it happened here as well.
And that's also very true. We've tested more these past 2 days than at any other time during the pandemic. And considering that they are saying that 1 in 3 people are asymptomatic, meaning they won't show any symptoms.
Yeah.
You put it into perspective a little bit there, I suppose. Again, I'll just play it by ear, Colin. Honestly, I'll just play it by ear. Obviously, the last thing
I'm not giving up hope. I'm not giving up hope yet. Is what you know what I mean?
The last thing I want to do is the last thing I want anyone to do is delay me stroking that glorious beard of yours.
Yeah. See, Tommy, I told you the beard would come back, baby. Look, it's working on. It's working.
That's good, man. I'm thinking about getting a Tash back. To be fair, I've seen previous photos a couple of months back, and I think the Tash suits me better. So I might just go Tash for the next year.
What's the lady have to say about that?
Oh, she's not impressed. She's not impressed if I she's not impressed if I
shave. Your best Ron Jeremy impression there, mate.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, man. I think the Tash suits me better. The handlebar Tash, you was repping that handlebar Tash as Buck.
Oh man, it was.
You could have kicked the chops with it as well, though.
I don't know if Buck Buckley. His new show is going to be a little different from what I hear. I'm pretty excited for that to come back. I'm trying to think of a good day. I think there was an
exclusive on my show earlier. I think there was kind of exclusive on my show earlier.
Yeah. a little snippet got out.
Buck is coming.
Can we talk Tottenham news now? Because there's a few things that I do want to talk about in terms of Tottenham.
Hey, real quick, my mom had something cool to say.
Cool. Oh yeah, 100%. That goes without saying.
And that's
the virus comes from China. China.
No.
Oh, his DNA speech also. Jesus Christ, it's not DNA, it's USA. Oh, for fuck's sake. That guy is clueless.
He's beyond.
We've got our own version, yeah.
No, you do. But I don't think Boris is as. I think he's just more selfish. Trump is Trump owed some. I don't know. Trump was desperate to be president in a weird way. Like why? Why so desperate? I don't know. It weirded me out. Yeah. Boris is Donald Trump level rich.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Trump and Boris are like chalk and cheese, but they're both stupid as fuck. Like, I think it goes without saying. But yeah. So, I mean, can we talk about Tottenham news? Because I've got a few things I do want to address, like transfer-wise.
Don't ask me if you can.
Colin Smothers just thrown one out there, Dybala. That's coming back now. Heard a bit about the bar.
One of the things that are one thing that's in the
stream.
rumor.
You're welcome. Stupid.
One of the things that's in the rumor mill right now, and it's floating about quite heavily, is that this Harry Kane isn't going to join Man City. Instead, Real Madrid is looking like the likely destination should he leave in January, and that's coming from multiple sources.
Well, okay, cool. Bye. Then we're getting. Then that means we're getting Vlahovic.
And then that was the next thing I wanted to talk about as well.
If Kane goes, then we've got Vlahovic. Then we've got Vlahovic tied up already. That's already been agreed to.
This is the shocking thing that I do want to touch on now. So obviously, Dusan Vlahovic, the price tag by Fiorentina has been put at 100 million euros, which is 85 million pounds. He has rejected Arsenal on multiple occasions because he wants to come to Tottenham. However, there's one other team that's now entered the race for Vlahovic, and it's and it's rumored already that they have submitted a 100 million euro bid. Newcastle United.
Fuck them. He'd be an idiot to go there, I think.
Yeah,
to be honest with Vlahovic, he'd be an idiot to go to all three of those. If I'm being honest, Arsenal, Spurs, and Newcastle, he'd be an idiot to go to all three.
Unless the thought of playing for Conte, and he's seen, especially if Kane leaves, that players can use Spurs as a good springboard to go to one of those top teams.
This is the point.
This dude's young as fuck.
This is the point that I brought up on my show. That if he does go to Real Madrid, that gives us the money to buy Vlahovic.
Sure, buy, go.
Let's not forget.
I don't think we can underestimate the power of Conte either.
I'll miss Harry Kane. I'll miss Harry Kane more than anyone. But if Madrid are going to take him, and we're not going to have to play him twice a year minimum, then
that's the only way we get Vlahovic. The only way we get Vlahovic is through Conte.
Yeah.
There's no other way. There's no other avenue. So it will be that the attracting of playing football where you can actually win a title. I mean, he's won 5 league titles at the last 7 years in charge of a club football, a club Conte. So it's got to be attractful for a player. So that's the only way Vlahovic comes, and we have to sell Kane. There's no way people talking about Kane and Vlahovic. I think we all know that's not happening. That's not happening.
The last thing that I want to.
Bryce, are you still watching? Sorry, real quick, Bryce, hop on if you're still watching, man. You said you were going to come on.
Bryce, you getting ready for the Ashes, mate? Bryce, I know he's in Oz.
He's supposed to be on by now, but he's not here.
I'll still have a feeling that in January the only major incoming we're going to see is a very angry Brian Daigle.
He's coming in.
He's already said.
This time tomorrow, I think.
He's already said he's going to be on my charity live stream, and if by midnight we haven't of midnight or when obviously my stream starts at 12 p.m. So midnight the following day, if we haven't got a heavy link with someone, he's going to start asking questions.
Oh, I want to see that.
I want to be there for that so bad. I'm coming. I think. I don't know.
Nice.
Colin, you are more than welcome to come round, bro.
I'm coming.
I'm only down the road. We can all meet up near me. I want to take you to an ice hockey game, like in the UK.
That sounds insane to me because I did not know that was really a thing. You mentioned it maybe the last time I was with you on a stream somewhere, but
ice hockey we've got 2 leagues over here of ice hockey, and it's really entertaining to watch.
I can never see the puck. That's the problem. I can just never see the puck.
Oh, it's brilliant to watch, man. It's brilliant. Yeah. Especially the fight.
I watched handball on accident. I was looking for a stream the other day on a totally legal site that you find streams on and you don't pay for them. And then,
big in Europe, man.
And I accidentally saw handball, and I was like, "What the hell?"
It's banging.
Like Real Madrid have got a team. Barcelona got a team. It's massive in Europe. Yeah.
Do you remember beach football? Do you remember beach football? That was the one.
Yeah.
Tiago will know all about beach football, man.
But I can't play.
I love beach
football. Me neither. I can't play beach football. What about futsal?
And Masters football as well. Masters football was quality viewing.
What happened to that, man?
They stopped doing it. They stopped doing
it. Man. Oh, mate, the amount of retirees that they could have now is ridiculous.
You're right, Scott.
So I think the last talking point I want to bring up in terms of Tottenham is that we are now heavily linked with Dean Henderson. Man United have given the green light for Henderson to leave, and he obviously wants to move away. Newcastle are also in for him. However, Newcastle have got an amplitude of other players that they can use between the sticks. where Dean Henderson may not fall into favour. However, where we are looking for a keeper, with Galini's loan expiring in the summer and Hugo Lloris's contract still not renewed, Henderson comes at very, very cheap for someone of his calibre. I think he's only rated at £40 million, and I think that's an average price for a player of his calibre in today's market. The
it's
other
crazy how much goalkeepers would have never gone for that amount like a couple years ago.
But that's what I'm saying. This is today's market, man. Like £40 million is
Kepa's £70 million 3 years ago, and he's on the bench. So
that's fucking hilarious.
I mean, with Hugo Lloris's contract not looking like it's going to be renewed, and him looking for a free in the summer, and Galini on his way out, we need that new keeper.
I'm hearing Lloris is going to sign. I'm hearing news.
Yeah. I want that. That's all I've heard. I haven't heard anything to the contrary. You know,
I mean, all the sources around Lloris are saying that if he gets a concrete offer, he'll sign the contract, unless he's just ridiculing.
Who's like dumb enough not to have put that offer on the table already, though? You know,
Levy.
Well, on the other hand, it could be a good move if Henderson does want away now, because that's a top quality goalkeeper, I think. And
better than Pickford, in my opinion. Much better than Pickford. No.
Well, we do have to look at, ultimately, we've got to replace Lloris at some point.
Let him play.
Just to touch on that subject, Craig. Financial fair play doesn't apply to Newcastle for the next 3 years because of the new ownership. They are exempt from that because it's a whole new ownership. They have to go through the whole process again. So Mike Ashley's tenure at Newcastle doesn't stand. With the new ownership, they can get away with spending X amount of money in a period of 3 years before financial fair play becomes an issue. So if they were to make loads of signings in January in the summer and bring in a whole new team in order for them to try and stay up, I mean, they're looking at Kieran Trippier as well. I thought that was fucking madness when I saw it. But they are looking at Kieran Trippier as well.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
He's no spring chicken. He's 31. He's the sort of player that could go to Newcastle. Hopefully, Dele Alli will push him over there too.
Well, Dele Alli would be.
What if the team slaps and they do really well? That would piss me off pretty bad.
Well, they're not going to. They can't. I don't think statistically, going by what is happening in the Premier League right now, I don't think statistically they can cause any threat. I think they would be battling for mid-table at most.
I'm talking about next season.
Next season's a different story. Next season is a completely different story, but I don't see them winning anything within the next 5 years.
But yeah, homegrown's the best bonus for Henderson.
Yeah, that is a big bonus.
This is the thing: if we ship off Harry Kane, we lose one of the players out of the homegrown quota, and then you bring in Vlahovic, and then you bring in Henderson.
This is why it's absolutely essential. Absolutely essential. Your backup goalkeeper is British. If he's a backup goalkeeper, you might as well just have him being British. He's not going to play that often. Joe Hart was fine. Everybody has a go. He was fine. It was absolutely fine.
We got him on a season.
It was only because of the job done tweet that everyone hated him.
Oh, there is, of course, there is that issue. But Whiteman would have been fine. Alfie Whiteman would have been fine. He looked good in pre-season.
Yeah, I mean, he's played over 1,000 minutes in the. I think is it the Icelandic league or the Swedish league or whatever it is. He's played over 1,000 minutes. He's conceded 26 goals.
Does he actually?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
not
great.
There go 2 hours.
There are so many variables there, aren't there? We don't know what the teams that he's playing against. We don't. Yeah, there are a lot of things. But as a backup keeper, you're going to play 3 games a season, 4 games a season.
I mean, he was good in pre-season.
I'm going to share my screen.
Good in pre-season.
He did look good, didn't he? I thought so. I thought he looked very good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I don't normally. What's that?
How old is Alfie Whiteman?
21.
So he wouldn't even count as a senior pro, would he?
Nope, not until he's over 23.
So no problem. Don't even have to worry about homegrown. Homegrown is only if we got a full squad of 25, it becomes an issue.
This is why I'm saying we should look at Etienne Green from Saint Etienne in France. He's only 21 years old. Classes as homegrown because he's got dual nationality, so he's got English parents but was born in France. I think, no, his dual nationality. I think his mother's English and his dad's French, or something like that. But he plays over in France, and he's already first team, and he's 21 years old.
But for me, for a backup keeper, you want an experienced backup keeper. Then you have your third keeper being the homegrown one, like the Whiteman. Yeah. So you get an experienced backup keeper just in case he plays now and again. Take one homegrown place. Doesn't have to be team homegrown, because you have to have 4, don't you, from Spurs? You actually have to have 4 from Spurs. So you have Joe Hart, Whiteman. You've got 2 there. You've got 2 of your 6, 2 of your 8 in your keepers and your backup keepers. Yeah, you've got a quarter from 8. So that's where we need to find it. We can find the homegrown players. I mean, Dyer doesn't even count as homegrown because he grew up in Portugal.
Yeah, he doesn't count by half a year. He's played. I think he played 2.5 years in England as a youngster before he hit 20.
Played at Everton. Yeah, played for Everton for a little.
Played for Everton, yeah, and obviously he played for the academy as well.
But yeah, he doesn't count. So we can lose someone like that. They're the players we need to get rid of. Dyer, Dele Alli.
I don't know. Dyer's a touch and go one. Like, I think he's played quite a pivotal part in Conte's plan so far. Dele Alli, Harry Winks.
Essential now. He's essential now. Can't get rid of him now. No chance.
Dele Alli, Harry Winks. I'd happily see them go in A class as homegrown. I'd happily see them fuck off.
They've gone already, haven't they?
Daigle says, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, my brother.
Daigle,
he touches down in 4.5 hours.
And then he says,
down in 4.5 hours.
See you all in London soon. P.S. Levy, I'm coming back. LOL.
I talked to Daigle half hour before he left. So he would just phone me up an hour before he left. He was talking to his wife and that.
4.5 hours he touches down.
Oh mate, sweet.
6:30.
I only met him once. I only bumped into him once when he came down here. So I'll definitely.
Well, I haven't met him yet, and I think the plan is after he's done his 2 days isolation, like he has to by law, then.
Wait, he has to do. You don't have to do 2 days isolation.
I think you have to get PCR when you land, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Because he's English. I think he can get an NHS one for free.
Oh, cool. I already paid for mine, so that's going to be money down.
Yeah, technically he's got dual citizenship, so he can actually go for his citizenship in Canada. But because he's British and he has a British passport, he can get an NHS one for free.
That's pretty smart, man.
Yeah, but I think the plan with me and Daigle are actually going to meet up at some point and go to the cafe or something.
Well, we're all three gonna have to do something. You just don't get COVID, mother effers, and I won't get COVID.
I hope I don't get COVID between now and Christmas. After Christmas, I don't give a shit. If I'm gonna get COVID, I'm gonna get COVID. But I'm supposed to be having.
I kind of feel exactly like that. Like if I could just go and do my fucking trip with minimal damage, please. Like, god damn.
I think you're being called out, Colin. Who paid for yours?
My mom.
Yeah. You've been called out.
I know. She got me. And you can like hear the tone. I'm putting it back up. You can hear the tone in that, can't you? Like
you paid for yours?
Yeah.
That has got a tone of there's some chores need doing tomorrow.
Yeah. Good thing I live too far away for her to come get me.
Oh, I don't know, bro. I mean, you're at her house. There's nothing stopping her coming to you.
True.
Get the old chloroform out, mate. Rag over the face, take you back. Right, you got to do this, and this.
Shit. Don't chloroform me.
So what do you think? Like, realistically in January, who are we going to go for? I mean, just position based. I mean, before we talk about actual players.
Well, we're totally Gucci on that in center back. Well, I mean, we could go for another backup center back if Rodon isn't trusted anywhere but Dyer's spot. If he could play more different spots, you know what I mean, in the back line, then we'd be better.
There was one player that we were linked with, and I think we've just taken over Arsenal as lead favourites. I can't remember who it is. He plays for Bologna.
It's Svenberg.
Oh, Svenberg. Yeah. Svenberg, yeah.
Where does he play?
He's a centre midfielder. I think Tommy Arsu's probably in Arsenal's era, isn't he? Having played for Bologna in the summer, and Tommy Arsu looks pretty good so far. So he's probably in the ear of the
chalk and cheese, mate. Chalk and cheese. Him and Emerson are chalk and cheese. I think Emerson Royale is better defensively than he is going up top, but whereas Tommy Arsu is better going up top than he is defending.
I'm the exact opposite.
You think Tommy? Yeah, me too.
I don't think Emerson can defend. But what I've seen of him, I think
he can only attack, and I don't think that Tommy Asu can really go forward.
It's still early days.
I think it's one or the other. It's either or.
Yeah, Tommy Asu seems like the bulkier, less mobile of the two, which would, in my opinion,
he looked really good for Japan at the Olympics. He looked very, very good.
You guys, I don't know. Okay.
I think what we need to go for the Korea monster, Kim and Jae.
Oh
Is he
yeah.
still available? Is he still available? Because we've been linked to him for like 3 years. Is he
Didn't mean
still
to-
available?
I think he just moved to Turkey, to be honest. Like last summer, I think he went to Fenerbahce or something like that.
Yeah, I thought he did move somewhere, but yeah, who knows? Who knows? I'm pretty sure we can prize him away from Turkey. I'm pretty sure if there's a player we need to get hold of, we can prize him away from Turkey.
Speaking of players that we were linked with, sorry, Kuva, just quickly, what do you guys think about Insigne? Like the news saying that Conte is crazy for him, we're going for him in January.
What I'm worried about is his age.
Oh my God, this is the best day ever. I expect.
And the fact
What
that
I'm
he's a
worried
left
about is his
winger.
age and the money that we're going to be paying for someone of his age.
But he's free. He is free. In the
Oh, is he
summer.
free?
Hey,
No,
my wife
contract's
just brought me.
running out.
My wife just brought me mini
No,
corn
in
dogs.
January, no.
So I gotta turn this down.
I mean, free is a sort of Daniel Levy price range.
No,
Yeah.
that is his, yeah.
Contract. It's
That's,
a contract that's going to come with it, though. I think.
Oh, there's
Well,
always
that-
a big signing on fee. When you
yeah.
sign a player for free, you always have to pay a big signing on fee because they're
I'm talking about wages, man. Wages. 30 years old. He's going to be on at least 120k a week.
He just won the
Yeah,
Euros
that's
as a first team player for Italy as well. So he's gonna demand a big wage. But that's fine by me. That's fine by me. I take Insigne. All day long, even to play on the right wing. I know he's a left winger. He can play on the right wing. He can play anywhere. He can switch Son. Son could play on the right if he had to. He's it's good to have options.
Yeah.
I think it is. It's good. It's good to have options.
I don't think that one makes a lot of sense for us at the moment. I mean, he's a good player, but do you really want to take on a 30-year-old on big wages at the moment? When there's other positions probably we need to fill more than that.
I think the centre back's the one that we need to fill, and I think the second striker and the back in the central defender, I think, is one that we need to look at as a matter of
Box to box midfielder as well.
yeah.
Wow. So if Kane goes, we kind of still need a striker.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, like even if Kane goes,
still need a striker.
if Kane goes,
stays,
we
we
get
still need a striker.
So if Kane goes and we get Vlahovic, we still need to sign another striker.
Yeah.
if you get Insigne, if I'm right in thinking, you wouldn't need to get another striker, would you?
He can play false nine. He can play as a forward as well. He can do a lot. It'll be okay for like 18-month contract. He'll do okay. I think we need a deep line centre mid that can spray the ball around. I think that's the big one. To
Do you know
release the
what?
wing
I
backs.
personally think, in terms of the box to box, if Conte gets Højbjerg playing the way that he did for Denmark, there's your solution there for box to box.
What's
But
he
that's
Skippy
box to
doing
box.
that?
But we need a player that can release the wing backs. It's all about wing backs. This formation. We need somebody that can release the wing backs, get the ball to the wing
Frank
backs.
Kessié.
He's like a Højbjerg. He's more like a Højbjerg Kessie. We need Brozovic. We need Pirlo, Fabregas, Brozovic type.
Agree. You've got to start with the ball playing centre backs, and and then that defensive midfielder like a Brozovic to play out, ping the balls out from the back. You've got to get the attacks going with accuracy the moment you pick it up from your back line, and we haven't got that at the moment. It was going okay when Højbjerg was on form, but his passing's been a bit off. It's still okay, but we need more options than that because you can't have Winks and Dele Alli coming in and doing anything. Forget and Dombele as well.
Who was it that we heard about? There was a swap deal I heard about. It's the dude that plays for Juve. What's his name? The midfielder that was amazing. No, or maybe he plays for Barca.
Pjanic.
No, it might be for Barca. But there was a talk. He was like really young. I think he came from Ajax. The same. What was his name?
Oh, Usman Dembele.
No.
What from Juventus? You talking Juventus? You talking Juventus?
Sorry, I'm eating. Maybe Barca. I know that. Does Barca have a?
I can think of
Arthur? Is it Arthur? Maybe Arthur.
Freddie de Jong or something.
Oh, Frankie de Jong. Frankie de Jong is the best.
That's who it is. There's talk that maybe
world.
we're gonna switch out Ndombele for him. Would you do it?
If we get Frankie de Jong,
he played for Ajax. He played for Ajax, right?
Yeah.
He played. Yeah. They bought him for 60-70 million pounds at Barcelona from Ajax. They bought him for 60.
Hey, what did we pay for? What did we pay for Ndombele?
Yeah,
60.
about 50 or 60. But Barcelona selling Frankie de Jong, I don't know about that.
But
Do you reckon
no,
we could
it's not
get Johnny
because-
Van
They
der
don't have
Beek?
any. They don't have any money, and if he's not, I don't know how much he plays
They-
under Xavi.
He is,
Yeah, I
he is
think-
mustard. He is mustard, that boy.
Xavi doesn't get the best out of him, from what I heard.
The
reckon
situation
we
in
can get Van der Beek?
Barcelona. I think we
I don't
can.
want him.
I don't like him, to be honest.
It's just like a reject, isn't he? It's just like a
Well, he's not a reject, is he? He hasn't. He's a very, very good player. You look at the impact he has on that Man United team when he comes
He's a
off the
white.
bench.
He's a white
ultimately
Dele
very
Alli.
good. No, he's not.
No,
Well, he
the
can't
white
get in front of
Dele Alli is
Fred.
Madison.
The problem is he can't get in front of McFred, and that's alarming, isn't it?
I don't understand the £40 million price tag. That's what I don't get. Is the £40 million price tag that they bought him for? I reckon if you bring Van der Beek and you put him into the system, if you want him to be he is your ball playing midfielder.
Yeah,
Man United fans
sure.
want to see him more. They do. I talked to a lot of Man United fans. They couldn't understand why Oli wouldn't play him, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's like he hasn't played for a year and a half, so we're gonna have to get him fit. 10 games to get fit. 2 months to get fit.
The other room, real quick. Thiago's in charge.
Yes, Thiago.
I don't know.
Eugene's about. Eugene's even about in the chat. What's going on, Eugene? Long time no see.
Eugene, if you want to join in, bud, the link is here. There is the link for the chat. If you want to jump in, more than welcome to. Thiago's taken over, so I'll tell you what I will do.
Just quickly, I wanted to say about the Frankie de Jong situation. The Barcelona economical situation is really, really bad because, for example, in this next phase in the Europa League, they already got Napoli, and I do think they're going to get knocked out. They're not winning the Europa League. They were knocked out in the group stage in the Champions League. That's a lot of money they lost. I don't think they're going to qualify for the Champions League next season as well. And through La Liga, I could see some big guys leaving just to open some spaces. And if Frankie de Jong if Barcelona needs to sell Frankie de Jong, I would be like their door.
He's the big one.
Would be me.
He is the big
Barcelona
one.
are having a piss poor season as well. I think they can't get 8th in La Liga or something.
Yeah.
You sell Messi and Griezmann. What do you expect? Yeah,
They had to for financial reasons.
No,
Yeah.
Barcelona are bracing themselves to follow the Ajax model, really, aren't they? Bringing through the youngsters, selling them for big money, and then bringing through the next lot.
Yeah.
They're braced for not being at the top of the Spanish league for a little while.
And that's what they get.
They've won 2 games in the last 5.
And that's what they get for spending £160 million on Coutinho and giving Griezmann 700 grand a week.
Yeah, and you've heard Coutinho's been offered to Arsenal for 20 million.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised Coutinho go anywhere at this rate.
Even funnier for me, instead of Coutinho, the one that made me laugh the most was our old player, Paulinho.
Paulinho, yeah.
I think, bloody hell, at Barcelona, really?
But he was very good for Barcelona, to be honest.
Actually, I suppose he did, but he didn't seem like a fit for them, though. They had a very strange period of recruiting when it was players you wouldn't associate.
There's a journalist not here in Brazil, who lives in Barcelona, but he follows the club daily, and he said the recruitment in Barcelona was pretty much, okay, we need a left back, get the best left back available. They didn't even okay, does he fit the system? Does he fit the squad? The plan we want to have? They just okay, get Griezmann, get Dembele, get Coutinho, just bring them in and let's make it work around Messi.
On top of that as well, they've just lost Sergio Aguero to retirement.
Yeah.
And they just let Suarez go like nobody's business. They just let Suarez go.
And ultimately, it cost them. Was it the Champions League? Wasn't it? Atletico beat them in the final or some shit.
Such an underrated player. He was such a
no. It was the league, wasn't it? Last year they won the league because of a Luis Suarez goal.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
But then again, money, isn't it? I mean, colossal wages. Them just getting rid of Suarez and Messi is a massive load off them.
True.
Huge hit.
And Griezmann is just 720 grand a week. It's incredible. It's like £3 million a month. It's incredible. Nearly 40 million pound a year. Nearly 40 million pound a year.
700, 700,
700, something like 6. I think it's 700,000 euros. So it works out about 600 grand, something like that.
And yet people were trying to link him to us.
Freaking just go and live on an island.
£5 million. Roger. It was a loan deal, though, wasn't it, Griezmann? It was meant to be a loan deal.
There's these chips called Grippos barbecue chips. They're made like in my area, and like it's a pretty regional thing. I'm gonna bring some if I do come to London.
So
They're like the best
this is
chips
what I
in the
never
world.
got. You call crisp chips. Well, we call chips crisp.
Right.
But what do you call chips?
Fries.
Chips are different to French
Fries.
fries. No, but
No.
French fries are thin. So what would you call fish and chips? Chips.
Oh, like there's a name. Mom, tell him. You know probably.
He's just gone, mate. Gone.
Oh,
Fish and
dang
chips,
it. We have like steak fries. It'd be closest to steak fries was what we call them.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Wait, I don't understand. Chips is like, cause these are
No, they're crisps.
Crisps, clearly. Definitely crisps.
Yeah.
You want to sort yourself out.
We call them
But
crisps.
get some chili on that one. Proper one of those proper ones like you had the other night.
Oh yes. Oh, I saw that. That was mad. That was
Yeah,
madness.
it was funny. It was funny to watch. He was a champion all the way through it, though. Absolute warrior.
Do a packet
But you-
of them next. That's what I want to see.
You were
It's a
sorting
one
out.
chip
You were
game for
sorting
a
it out
reason.
in the behind the scenes, weren't you, Josh? You were sorting it out behind the scenes. Or
Yeah.
something.
I was bringing up all the
Yeah.
comments and asking questions and stuff.
Yeah, because
That's
all
cool,
I
man.
could do is
That's
just like exist, just barely existing through that whole thing, man. It was rough.
It's funny to watch, though. You had Beth running around like a headless chicken trying to fucking cool her mouth down. Colin sitting there like, I need to Alka-Seltz at some point. Or what was the solution you drank? Pepto, wasn't it?
Yeah, but then I also drank some booze, and that actually helped more than anything.
Yeah,
Which
peanut
is
butter
really
flavoured
good.
whiskey, wasn't it?
Yep.
Milk and plain
Yes.
yogurt. That's always the ones that do
Yeah.
the trick for me with really hot stuff.
Yeah. Anything? Oh, cool. Oh,
That was my bad. I clicked the thing. But no, it was
I-
hotter. I bought like joke hot sauces that are like the ones from the show Hot Ones. I don't know if you've ever seen it. But
Yeah.
I've had like that hot sauces. The ship was worse.
Well,
Much
I'm
worse.
doing 5 packets of Korean fire noodles on my stream. My
Ooh,
charity
that
stream.
sounds awesome.
It's gonna be fun.
It sounds really fun.
5
This was
packets.
This
Yeah,
was like
they're
pain.
tiny,
This was
they're
like
small.
pain.
Oh, I was about to say that'd be difficult just to do with the amount if it's like 5 like super noodle packets. But no, okay, fair enough.
But no, this was like pain, like not even fun. Like this was like hurting yourself on purpose.
Yeah, this is
Josh,
what the Korean fire noodles are.
Josh
Well, I
is
just
going
watched-
to do beast mode though. He's going to snort them
Yeah. I'm gonna thread them. I'm gonna thread them up the nostril and out the mouth. Like, ah.
until
Do the
you
old-
see blood.
Yeah, do the old Steve-O spaghetti trick.
Korean food is
Flossing.
good. I like it.
Flossing my sinuses. Right, boys. With that being said, it's fucking 2:10 in the morning. I'm gonna jump off.
It's the perfect time for us all to jump off. I want to eat chips. It's been 2 hours. This is a good time. It's not 4 hours and a half like the last time.
Cool.
Hey,
Do you want to do
hey,
your outro then?
I
I'll
just
remove
wanted to
it so
say
you do
thanks
your
to
outro.
everybody. Do what now?
You do your outro, dude.
Oh yeah. But real quick, anybody want to plug stuff?
Josh the Tottenham
I don't
guy
know.
tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Tomorrow night 8 p.m. Come by.
I don't know what I'm doing, man. I don't know because I don't know what's going on with the Liverpool game. Supposed to have a preview with Doug, but
What do you do? A cricket stream?
Cooper, what are you doing?
Tottenham
Yeah, I don't
Tantrum
think that'll
Gold, old school Spurs games. Let's see in some of the legends. One on in the morning, probably we'll have one on in the evening as well.
Cool, awesome. I honestly haven't been able to check on that.
Ham. Herbert's going fucking ham at the moment with his stream, bro.
Yes. Tomorrow morning, Spurs against Bayern Munich from 1983.
That sounds
couple minutes ago.
awesome.
what time's that? What time's that?
We're going 10:30 GMT.
Oh, if I'm up, I'll try and
154
check it
subs
out.
on there.
7:30.
154 subs that's up to now. That's fucking crazy.
That's awesome.
You're right, isn't it?
Deserves it.
You're doing something
Deserves
right.
it. Deserves it.
That's so cool. Audio artists says
Ham
big
with the
up.
stream.
Yes,
Big
audio
up, hey,
artist,
big up
Sam.
yourself, audio artist. You're always here, man. Makes me happy. You make me happy.
How you doing, man? How you doing?
But all right, guys, I'm going to take everyone out, and I'm gonna do the outro. Spurs is the newest player.